Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. We're seeing North American stock futures back in positive territory ever so slightly this morning, coming off a bit of a mix showing yesterday. We had the last presidential debate last night before the election coming up November 3rd. Didn't really result in any market-moving headlines as many were expecting. Markets still continuing to monitor ongoing stimulus talks or the possibility of a final stimulus package coming before the election between Democrats and the White House. We'll keep an eye on that for you coming up today. We have a number of individual names to get to this morning. Intel shares big time to the downside after earnings aftermarket yesterday. Missed expectations right across the board. We'll talk about Intel in all of the semiconductor space as well. Drug maker Gilead higher this morning significantly after the FDA approved both remdesivir and also their Veklury drug for the treatment of COVID-19 for patients in hospital, giving them emergency use authorization. Ride-sharing names to the downside as well. Both Uber and Lyft under pressure after a appeals court in California ruled against an appeal both companies filed when it comes to treating their drivers as employees versus contractors. So we'll talk about that. It's Friday, October 23rd, 2020. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go. Look at Asian markets from the overnight session. You can see Shanghai to the downside, everything else nicely higher. Let's go over to Europe and see how things are shaping up so far. 1+% for the most part right across the board outside of Turkey, the only one lower. Let's go over to North America and see how things are shaping up. As I mentioned, slightly higher for U.S. markets. TSX futures here in Toronto also in positive territory. You can see Bitcoin back to the downside. It's been on a bit of a tear this week. Crude oil and gold both in positive territory. Good morning, guys. We are here. It's Friday. Lots to get to so far this morning. The debate ended up being, I mean, it was fine, but nothing really came of it.
I thought it was pretty good. Better than the first one.
Nothing market moving coming from it anyways, but we'll have a look at some earnings news coming up this morning as well. And a big guest coming through today as well. Our good friend, Kevin O'Leary, making his return to the show shortly after 10 o'clock. Guys, stay around for that.
Yeah, I mean, we're very excited. Mr. Wonderful himself going to be coming through. Not the building, of course, it's going to be a call because these are the times. And speaking of that, look, remdesivir, I think Veklury, I don't know what they're calling it, that drug, obviously getting FDA approval. That's going to be making Gilead push on the move here. Intel hammered aftermarket. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There is a lot moving. I mean, socket's a rocket ship. I'm looking at Gilead bouncing just off of 63 here. You know, I'm likely to be fading this trade at some point off of that high at 64.50. But other name here, of course, Socket Mobile with just a huge run to the upside. So there's a lot for us to be looking at today. Even Tesla's catching or trying to catch a bit of a bounce last time I checked it. Sean, we obviously hit that 100,000, had a fantastic day. I don't know, man. Looks like you hit that sauce a little hard there based on the bottle I see next to your table.
Well, we're having a joke about that, and we came back yesterday from our meeting, and the Magnum was empty, so we got enough each to... Hello. We had enough each, but here's the Magnum of Veuve. Yeah, it was a fun day. Thank you so much to everybody, and it was a great night, a great day, everything, and we're ready to rock and roll today. I'm in one position here, this micro cap Zedge, so it just breaks through 270, so we'll see if it's going to hold that top. If not, we'll get out back here at 230, but other than that, yeah, Intel's on my mind, Fastly's on my mind, Nikola here as well, and then Mr. Wonderful. Yes, we'll be here 10:15 live with Brendan via Zoom. Should be a great call with him. We'll talk everything from MindMed to interesting other little tidbits as well. So coming up soon, Kevin O'Leary. There goes Zedge. So nice little move to the north side here for this name, guys.
Yeah, and guys, if you want access to Mr. Wonderful and you have questions for Kevin O'Leary, throw them in the chat now. We'll see if we can get to some questions from you guys as well. Coming up a little bit later on in the show, brand new video coming your way on trading books. Yeah, our top 5 trading books. No significant order or relative order here, but top 5 trading books from us to you. So some weekend reading for you. You can have a look at that video coming up at about 11:45. Valeria will have that link for you in the chat. Speaking of Valeria, let's say good morning to her.
Good morning, Brandon, and hello, everyone. Happy Friday, guys. If you joined us for the first time, please subscribe to our channel, share the link with friends, and smash the like button. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, even these thank you. Yeah, even these little micro caps going crazy this morning. Sean was talking about that Zedge. There's a few other ones we'll get to as well. As far as pre-market movers, the big one though, Intel, guys, big move down aftermarket yesterday. We were sitting here watching this report when it came out aftermarket. Kind of surprising to see a 10% move to the downside for a name like Intel, but they did miss both EPS and also their data center sales forecast going forward, pointing towards the pandemic and how that might hurt data center sales, guys.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting the clocks cleaned by NVIDIA. I mean, AI is a bit of the future here in this sector, and it's not. It's just a simple matter of Intel you can't miss when you've already been the ugly duckling in the space. So you're seeing what's happening here. I mean, the only level, and I feel like we talked about this level the last time Intel made a bit of a run to the top, like maybe a 47 level. Maybe it turns into support. Just look at it on the daily chart. So let's have a look-see here. It's down far enough that it's going to be a little bit tricky to sort of pick on it and short it through the bottom here. You see these levels in the aftermarket. So I don't know that I love a 48 break just because I think that 47 makes it more of a scalp trade. But if we do get any bounce up into this like 49 to be able to fade it, I'd look for that. So like short below that 49. Have a look-see at that 48 even level to see what it looks like after the open is probably the way I would approach shorting the bottom.
We just took some out on that Zedge, guys. Just another about 12 or 13% win there on that. We're only out of 20%, but okay. Intel back to the upside today. I don't know. Yeah, it was the report was fine. It's their data center. They had a big miss here, but we are coming back into a level where we're pretty comfortable with it, man. Like $48 here as a bottom. I would love to defend that. Hey, what up, Russell Jackson there? Thank you so much for that super chat. Brendan Valeria, the master, and Bundaberg rum bacon rule. Neil, check your Twitter. Dad will be proud. So there you go. Oh, maybe it's some Ray and nephew there, maybe possibly. Okay, let's just check out here on the daily chart. Quick. You can see down here 47.20. This is what we're talking about. We're well into a little range now again on Intel. It made that huge move down on AMD and their N7 chips, missing, and AMD eating their lunch. They made it all the way back up. Remember, Intel has a nice dividend as well to go along with this stock. So I like the stock here at these levels to buy, but today maybe in a little bit more pain. Remember, guys, today Intel, you're noticing this number up here, 10.5%. That means it's going to be short sell restricted, SSR. So if you hear us say SSR today, it means that A, you may have to find out if your broker is going to give them to you to borrow, and B, the other part is you're not going to be able to go short on the bid. You're going to have to wait for that uptick in order to... Wow, there goes Zedge, by the way, guys, breaking through $3. And yeah, that's a nice little win right there. So we'll rein in the money bags a little bit here. We'll get out of another part. We've only got out of 20% so far, but wow, Zedge, this microcap, Brendan, going insane.
Yeah, a little tiny company. It was earnings for them that were much better than expected for that ZDGE. Let's go on to the next one here, guys. Gilead, big move to the upside aftermarket yesterday. We were talking about both remdesivir and Veklury, which is their pediatric version of the COVID-19 treatment. So both getting emergency use authorization from the FDA aftermarket yesterday. I think it was kind of known that remdesivir was at least on the way towards receiving this, but this Veklury not as talked about. But it's the pediatric version, guys, for kids with COVID-19.
Yeah, and look, we tend to fade this, and you'll see this time and time again, fade any positive news, and especially if it's somewhat expected. Gilead's been coming off just a little bit in the last few weeks here, but it's worth noting you get this 50 period we're bouncing into. You also want to have a quick look, just a 15-minute chart I'll show you here. You do have this like double top here at 65. 64.50 is a number I've written down. I want to fade off of it. It's a pre-market high. If I get any buying action off of the open into that number, the trade is always to just jump in front of it on the way back down, so long as it doesn't break pre-market high, guys. I'm going to be shorted on Gilead just to see if we can get a bit of a pullback. It's only a 4% move up, so this is not like when we have 10, 15% gaps on Novavax or names like that. But either way, it's still going to be worth it for me to jump into the short Gilead in front of the high of day, so long as it's not broken before the open.
Are we talking about Zelda Monopoly here, Russell Jackson? Yeah, keep them coming, and we'll let you know. I'm
all about. So Sean,
we have Mario Kart.
You got to tell them, man. Like we used to in high school, we used to play Monopoly for real.
Right.
It was Monopoly for Mun, and that was like the fun game because we were lame back then. But either way, I don't know about Zelda Monopoly, but why not? I'm a nerd. I don't know about that one there, but it's all about that life, and I like the rum life.
Before we go on, so I am long. It doesn't look like our position board's working. So the team, like I told you, man, they hit the VOV, right? We will be looking at that position board, hopefully getting that going. But I am long right now. You can see $2.70 right here on Zedge. So just getting some out right now at 16. I mean, it's a big winner to start the day. But yeah, Gilead, let's just keep on moving. Brendan, go to the next name. Neil did a good job, obviously, with Gilead, but they continue to be upside here today. We'll just wait to see if it breaks new levels. It's been a rough ride for anybody that owns this stock. You guys all know that story.
Yeah, big move down over the past couple of weeks for Gilead. Let's talk about Uber and Lyft. Guys, an appeals court in California coming out saying that they ruled against both companies when it comes to how they treat drivers, employees versus self-employed contractors. So they're going to have to revisit this ruling once again, but it looks like it's not going to happen until after the election. There is a condition on the ballot in California for the election on November 3rd that could sway this one way or the other as well. So it looks like everything kind of on hold now for the next couple of weeks until the election, but both Uber and Lyft under pressure again because of this.
Yeah, I didn't look at too many. Come on, Uber, you're a New York stock. I didn't look at too many levels here on Uber, but we do like that name, and like you just mentioned there, it's going to be a tight little topic, down 1.47% here on Uber today. The injunction, who knows? Like you said, it's going to be on the ballot. We're going to wait to see 36.15, 36. Uber's been on a really nice, impressive run. I mean, even if you go back to yesterday, look at yesterday in the morning here, 10:45. I mean, it goes down to $35. Closes basically at 37. I mean, what a great move upside. So we do know that the bulls are here on Uber. You just got to find the right levels, and it's trying to break out. I mean, that's the one thing. I was actually talking with the wife last night and saying, you know what, I think it's about time to pick up some Uber shares here, and I actually didn't even notice that it was like this. So we're getting pretty close, man. If we can break above 38.75, I like it. But yeah, it may take a couple weeks into that election. And what is this top right here? It's hit it a couple times, 36.80s. So we're about 60 or so cents away from this on a daily chart. We're above the 50 period. I like 36.80 to break. But so far today, 36.20. Yesterday's closed 36.70. Not so much volume, guys. 57,000 shares.
Yeah, I'd almost look for a dip to 35 if you get a shot there. And again, like volume is going to be king. Apologies for the position board. So very quickly, I want to let you guys know on the list, our watch list anyways, MDGS is there. You will see I am actually in position a couple of times short on this name. First through $3 on this little, it's not as big of a gapper as you're seeing with like Zedge and some of these other names, but $3 and then took some out for 15 cents and then got back in and then took some out for another 15 cents. And I'm going to sort of repeat that pattern. It's coming right back into my secondary price. So we'll short this and then again at 3 on MDGS. CLPS is another one. I have that to the short side at 487. So we'll get that fixed for you guys. So and we'll keep you abreast of all of our positions as they come in until that's worked.
All right, guys, let's go back to earnings world. Mattel, toy maker Mattel, reporting better than expected results after market yesterday. They beat both on the per share side and the revenue side of things. They said the doll division was the big winner for the quarter and helped them both on the bottom line and top line numbers. So Mattel here, nice move, 7% so far in the pre-market after this big pop yesterday. After market up above $14 again.
I mean, my kid, I feel like, has an unlimited supply of random dolls. I should have checked the label on them because, I don't know, do they make LOL dolls or any of those Beanie Boos? I mean, she's just going crazy. I think she has like 50 of those little LOL dolls. It's absolutely ridiculous. Plus like 10 pets. And anyways, I don't think they make LOL, but that's the point. Okay, everyone's staying at home. Kids have to do something, so it doesn't surprise me at all that Mattel beats today. Actually, now that I think about that as I talk through it, obviously the more people are at home, you got to find something for your kids to do. And playing with dolls pretty nice. So let's wait to see what Mattel does. I actually didn't write down any levels here to go on the high side. So 6.73%. Again, we know that a lot of these stocks have been going on runs. So 1375 to the downside here is a good little spot. We'll see if it can break south. I mean, that may happen sooner rather than later. 14 to the high side possibly. This is kind of the action off the earnings report. So you do have, forget about what's happened this morning. You do have a high here of 1440. I mean, going back on the daily chart here, you know, we're well above. Like I said, what a great run since March, double since March. And now you're looking at these tops. So this is why 1450 probably held, right? Your top is here is $15. We'll find out how many is short, but I like Mattel here, even to go long, possibly short squeezes, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking for like this 13 quarter area. If that 75 gets violated, it comes back down. I think that 13 quarter looks like a decent spot where we might catch a bit of a turn. So I'm going to be watching this on Mattel and keep it up, Russell Jackson. We're definitely having fun. And yeah, I mean, Brendan, the absolute man, the myth, the legend, certainly when it comes to bringing us the news. And we couldn't do any of this without him. There's a lot to get to today. Just to update you, I just took some out of that CLPS for about a 10-cent winner here. And they're going to work this one down to about 450 as an ultimate target on CLPS.
Just checking on Mattel there for you guys, 5% only short for Mattel. So yeah, we'll have a look at Mattel. Both directions here. It looks like Tesla, the next one, guys. We had a little bit of a headline regarding the numbers over in China as far as the latest recall is concerned. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of between 19,000 and 20,000 vehicles going to be affected. Again, this is just in China, both the Model S and Model X vehicles going to be recalled. They didn't actually list the specific reason. There were some rumors flying around, but I didn't see a solid reason as to why. But almost 20,000 vehicles being recalled here, so Tesla a little bit lower on that.
Okay, yeah, look, I mean, Tesla had a great report. We talked about that earlier. I thought it was one of their best reports. Elon Musk handled himself amazing on the call. He was calm, cool, collective. He said there's big things coming for Tesla, and obviously I believe there is as well. But this news about China is not great, and the thing about it is China can do whatever the heck they want with anything, and we have already seen that, you know, through the pandemic and through all of the trade wars and things like that. If they want to ban Tesla sales or take them off the road or do something with that factory, they can probably just shut it down, and that would not be good. But we know that Tesla has factories in the U.S., and it's not a big deal, but part of the story, of course, is China. I wonder if they're doing this. The Chinese government, of course, has a big stake in NIO, so watch out for that. So there's a story there. So yeah, I am a little bit concerned. Matt Murphy, if you're watching this, I know you're trade Tesla pretty big, but I'm a little nervous about this story. I don't like it. It doesn't really sit well with me. I mean, I'm long Tesla a hell of a long time ago, so I'm not going to be exiting on this. I'm actually going to be looking to get longer if we can get near 400. But there's that 420 level, 422. I think the short's going to be in on Tesla today. I'm not even worried about the market. I don't want to go long. Let's see if we get some clarification on that story. But I mean, it just doesn't seem good to me that the Chinese government's getting a little bit involved here. Let's hope that it's not what, you know, the worst case scenario. But yeah, I'm a little nervous for this 420 level. That's held before, so it might be a good spot to get long if you disagree.
Well, I mean, you got to watch that 420. I mean, we talk about this level time and time again. If you get a catalyst like this, you're going to have to be concerned with it. Let's also keep in mind, you know, with this story, you got to pay attention to NIO as well. Flat right now, but I mean, it sort of goes without saying that, you know, in China, Tesla's a downside would be pretty solid there for both NIO and XPeng. So, you know, let's have a look at these names. I'm not really seeing any crazy action yet on NIO, but a 2760 breakout if we're going to see potential. I mean, you can see the sideways action it's had at the top, so there's some room to run into that 29 hard top. 2760 and 28 breaks on NIO if we're going to catch any kind of positive wins out of NIO. Off this Tesla news. And again, obviously we have to wait for some updates, and hopefully when we get them, we know Brennan will have them for us.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one. The next one, guys, you remember last week we had a huge move down for Fastly after they lowered their Q3 guidance. That was Wednesday, I believe it was, last week. We'll have a look at the chart here in a second. But Piper Sandler coming out, downgrading Fastly this morning, adding to that kind of negativity surrounding the stock from neutral to underweight, saying the market's still not pricing in enough risk on this name, pointing towards the TikTok uncertainty for that reason. But I just noticed here, guys, on the daily chart, we're basically right at this kind of line in the sand here as far as support is concerned for Fastly.
Yeah, so I just got out of some more of that Zedge there, guys, and I just want to see, it still didn't show anything on the board, so just to let you guys know that's not working still. Okay, Fastly right now. Look, I've talked, come on, Fastly. I've talked, what is it doing? Oh, it's FSLY. I've talked a long time to get this thing down into the 70s, and if we can get that, then we're going to be trying to go long. So yeah, I am loving this stock right now where it's at. Unfortunately, for those of us, I'm not in it right now, but for those of you that are, you have to watch out because Fastly did have that early report the other day, right? And I mean, look at the daily chart. Bang. This thing was just rocking and rolling, breaking new highs. It's a relatively new company. You can see just back in May of last year. So Fastly cruising 2020. TikTok comes out. Look, they make the internet run faster, right? So I think there's a lot of use for Fastly. It's just for right now, they're at that level that I really, really like. So for a day trade today, yeah, I've already got my bids. I've already got my bids in here. Low 76. What we're going to try to do is defend 75. And again, if I just go back, and I tweeted this out as well. If we just go back to this daily chart, you can see right here, this has been the bottom. I don't think it's a negative story. They just, simply warned. Companies do that, and sometimes they turn out great, sometimes they don't. But that's a big move down already, a big retracement down. So I'm looking at picking some of this up very, very soon. The downgrade doesn't help, but watch out. I'll defend it through 75 and then get out if 75 breaks. That's my plan of action on Fastly, guys.
Yeah, not the first time, Sean, that we're going to see downgrades come after a sharp move has already been put in. And I think that's always worth keeping in mind here, guys. The only thing I would change is I think last time I looked at this too, I prefer 70 to 73. I feel like every time it comes down, Fastly is thin enough that certainly it tends to extend moves just a little bit based on what the bid action will be. And right now, it's not a huge amount of volume, so I might think that it could get us, if 75 breaks, down into that 71, 72, where I definitely like it as well. In terms of fading into a short trade, given how far it's already come down, I'd probably stay away from this one. I like a Gilead off the top, shorting in front, but I'm not going to let this travel up $2 to short through and then have it squeeze up on me. I mean, that's not a short that I like. That way it would have to be something through the bottom if I took it.
Next one here, we'll jump down to Socket Mobile. Guys, if you're wondering what we're doing currently, grab the watch list. It's absolutely free. Valeria will help you out with the link if you have not done so yet. All you have to do is enter your email address. We'll deliver it right to your inbox every single morning before 9 o'clock when we come on. We go through all the names that are moving around in the pre-market and talk about why, and then come up with a plan on how we can approach them at the open. Socket Mobile, this little teeny tiny electronics maker, and I mean $8 million market cap, guys, for Socket Mobile. It's just earnings. They came out and posted a very, very small profit versus an expected loss. It's an electronics equipment maker up here 154%. If you remember, going back to July, we were talking about this one on the show up here, right where we are now, around this $4 level.
Yeah, so it was 415. The first time it got up there, that was the high. So when you reverse off of a level like that, you kind of think, okay, it's going to stall out and not even fulfill those bag holders all the way to the top, and maybe it's going to be a short, sort of short off that level. I'm not touching this one until we open up. It's just entirely too strong. I'm sitting here, and I was, for whatever, we were here a little bit earlier this morning, and I took some longs off of at 7 o'clock that I probably should have held on to, but I'm not really going to usually do that at that time of day. So I had some scalp wins, only made like 20 cents or so on overall in Socket. I'm not going long, so I'm not going short just yet until after the open. I'm looking at this 355 level. If that's going to hold, I think we make a real test of 4, another test of 415. It's a breakout if it takes out that 15-cent range that we showed on the on that daily chart. So watch out and be careful if you're going to be shorting Socket. I got to double check to see if we how much we're spending on locates. I couldn't get any earlier, but I wasn't looking short just yet anyways.
Yeah, I'm going to tell Greg to get me some Socket, please, if available. Okay, yeah. Look, so for Zedge here, guys, we're in here at 270. We are now out of 60%. Our best out is $3.16. It's testing VWAP right now, so we just did get out a little bit, 10% more, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Now we'll wait. If it breaks back down below where we're in, we're out. So, again, starting the day off with a nice little win here on Zedge. Didn't look like it wanted to go too much more than that, so a couple, double, triple tops. No blowout off the top here, so it could still go, but I'm only going to give this one back here. If it goes, we're going to take it at 320 during market open right now. Not going to hold this one all the way back and give our profits up. So Zedge Mobile, is it mobile? Zedge, yeah, Zedge, no, Socket Mobile. Zedge here making moves now back to the downside. But yeah, Socket, good trade. I love it through $5 for $4 for sure.
All right, guys, let's have a look at the overall market here. We'll bring in Arun and check out what the futures are doing so far. Pretty tight range right now heading towards the open. We are higher overall, but a pretty muted session once again, Arun.
Yeah, it's a day of it's been a week of ranges, right? And now we're hitting that top end range, or what was the top end range previously, is the 75 level. So today's one of those situations where there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts with the levels that I'm going to give you guys because it's all conditional. So 75 on the top end. Right now, there's a drift to the upside, okay? So 50 is the tracking level I'm looking at. If we can get below 50 and settle in, then I'll use 75 as a stop, but we do have to settle in below 50. It's not a level, it's just something I'm keeping an eye on, so if we can get underneath it, it confirms the sell activity to the top. So 50 is a level, we get 50, I go short, we get below 50 and settle in, I go short below 50 with 75 as a stop. If we get underneath 40 and settle in, on the buy side, then I use 20 as the stop for the long. So it's a lot of conditions attached to these levels. 20 is a level on the bottom, 75 is a level on top, 40 below 40 or around 40 activates a long if we can get a proper setup in. Below 50 with a proper setup gets me a short above with 75 as a stop. And if we get below 20, of course, 3,400 is waiting for us from earlier yesterday. So there's a lot of conditions attached. Just keep an eye on those levels. 75 still in play and 20 on the bottom.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll touch back in with Arun on Monday morning. Another little one to look at here, guys, from yesterday. Everglory, this EVK, if you remember, this thing more than tripled from where it was in the pre-market all the way up to almost $7 and then all the way back down again. So decent volume again this morning in the pre-market. We're in a much tighter range, obviously. There's a couple of levels here. I just left the cursor here at 360 and then up to 380. Watch out for that $4 level as well. Some resistance possibly for EVK, guys.
Oh, yeah, EVK. So we're going to go socket mobile through $4 if it does go. That's true. And then Nikola right here. I like this one, 2350, 100,000 shares up 1.45%. Let's take Nikola off the open if that does break. And then one more name here for you as we have 3 minutes to go, so it's okay. Okay, 103.50. I was going to say, wow, it's not at 115 already. 103.50 here on come on. My charts today, honestly, I'm wondering if I have to log out and back in because they're not switching every time. I like this high here, 103.50 on JP Morgan. Let's just check in quickly on the imbalance locator. Whoa. What's the news with GE today? 1.6 million shares on bid. It's not really, okay, it's up 3%. We'll find out about that. I think it's just breaking out. GE, obviously aerospace as well, coming into play. Hertz on look as well. There's Pfizer. Probably a SPAC there. We'll find out about ATAC soon. And then there's Fastly to the sell side. So we're looking to pick up Fastly ahead of 75. That happens, great. If not, we'll get flushed out. But let's take a look now at GE. Wow, interesting, 1.2 million.
Yeah, it's all about. Yep. Go, Brendan.
Yeah, guys, just a note there for GE. 5-year service agreement here for Vietnam's major power unit, looks like, or Vietnam's state-owned power utility generator. So a 5-year service agreement between those two sides. UBS also with an upgrade on GE today.
Okay.
Thank you there, Brendan. Just getting another push here in that EVK. And yesterday it was only longs for me on this name. I'm actually looking for short. It's day two, and usually when you get day two action, I'm trying to be a seller when it's come back in. I'm looking right here. I mean, the level we looked at yesterday, this 333 area, 335, whatever you want to call it. It's an interesting one when you look back at the daily. So hovering right into it off of the open. If this is where it's going to turn, you can see there was some consolidation at that same price here in the 1 minute. So that's a level I'm going to like. I think you give it to like that 50 mark off the open. If it violates that and breaks through, and comes right back in at like 935 or something like that, I'll probably jump right back into the trade. It's rather thin, but the volume still pretty good. And I feel like there's one name we didn't talk about here, guys. McAfee.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, McAfee, of course. It was a range-bound trade. Let's be honest about it for the first day. So just going to zoom out on the 1 minute you guys can see. With about a minute to go, it really only put in like a dollar range is about the gist of it for most of the volume. So we'll be watching some of the even levels like this 1850 if it holds. I think it's going to be a scalp trade, more like taking your 10, 15 cents at best on each move, and liquidity is pretty good. So if you see longs off of the bottom and then scalping out and then maybe taking some 1850 breaks, 19s, things like that, I think is a way to play McAfee and just take advantage of that liquidity, Sean.
Yep, I agree 100%. We're going to get ready for JP Morgan too, 103.50 off the top. We hate getting in so super early because you always get bad prices and you're not sure of the areas. But Zedge rocking and rolling as well. That's making new highs soon, 320. Let's see if that takes off that top. We'll go longer at 320 if it breaks through. That's Zedge, guys.
Yeah, and I just got into some EVK, going to work that one off of a 350. It's Friday. We got Mr. Wonderful coming through today, and the wonderful Valeria, I believe, is on the belt. Ready to ring it. So let's drop that countdown. Let's get going. Wonderful way to end that week. 100K as well.
All right, we're into fast. There's the bell. We get into Fastly here at 76 and change. Watch out, man. It's coming south side. If this breaks 75, we're going to get out. We're into double now Fastly, making moves. Let's see. We're long Fastly, 75.44. There goes Zedge again through 320. We took some more shares, so let's just see how this one reacts. Looks like now it's coming right back down. So again, 270 is our out here on Zedge, our first in, guys.
MDGS sliding to the downside. Already have this one short. Try to tell you guys off of a $3 level, off of a $2.90 level. Got back in here at $2.90. It's headed back down to that 75 range. So I'm going to slide out and continue to take some profits. It's going to be 10, 15 cent wins until we break down towards yesterday's close at 240. That is the ultimate target. So we already are slaying some dragons over here. Another position, and I hope our position board will get fixed. I mean, obviously, we're going to do that for you, but CLPS was another name that I mentioned to you that I already had off this $5 level. Short at 490. Just a bit of a pullback trade. Just got it down here to 460. We'll take a 25-cent win on that one as well.
Yeah, Socket Mobile going nuts. There it goes, breaking through 4. We're long now 405. So we can take some off now if we can get some backside. But Socket Mobile right now long right here through 4. Just took some out at 15 there. Now 20. We're hella long Socket Mobile. Let's go, guys.
Yeah, I like 415 as the level. I just tried to pick some up on that break and didn't get it until pulled back to 420. On the daily, guys, remember, this was that level last time. It just pushed through it. Let's see if it can hold above. Socket looking hella strong this morning. I didn't want to short it. We talked about why there, so let's go Socket.
Yeah, we're hella long now at 405. Beautiful out here on Socket. Give us some 36s, baby. Yes, a nice little 30-cent win to go here. Socket just ripping right now. And oops, we did it again. We trading big caps, micro caps, large caps. Socket going nuts right now. Fastly also, we're into that one, 75.75. It's just bouncing around. We could have took a winner on that one. Again, my chart's just not really rotating properly. Let's see if it goes. If it breaks through 75, we're going to get out of that one. But right now, Fastly, Socket, and Zedge. So let's go, guys.
Yeah, and look, apologies about that position board, but I got to get you to EVK. We just talked about it a couple of seconds ago. Well, a couple of minutes ago, really. Down towards that $3. It's testing the low of the day. I'm not going to look the gift horse in the mouth. Got to start taking some profit off, and we'll line this one up and knock it out of the park. Day 2 on EVK was winners to the long side. Today, we're looking short. See if we can't get some more. CLPS continues to slide down here. I'm short at 487. So let's go show you this name as well. Apologies for that position board, but I did take some out there for a 25-cent win. Had a shot at a 450 break, but I'm trying to hang on for a deeper return here. I'll take maybe a little bit out in front of that 450 just in case it doesn't want to go any further. At 388 was yesterday's close. So I really think we have a good shot to retrace all the way down into those 14s and get a nice little winner here on CLPS.
It's hard to be long and then watching the market tank like this. So, yeah, watch out here, man. Intel, one of the names we talked about, just absolutely tanking. Socket Mobile back above 4. Go, Socket Mobile, go. 405 longs, our best out 40s. What up, Beep?
Another one from the watch list, guys. American Express here, AXP down 3%, but we're testing these highs from the pre-market, 101.75 to 102. Earnings not good for AXP, guys.
No, they are not. And the market's not good for anything right now. The market just keeps on coming downside. Let's check out JP Morgan. I'm wondering if this is a good opportunity to pick some up. We go down as low as 102 and change. I still like this 103.50. I really like it now. It's trying to hold these levels, so watch out here. JP Morgan. Everything else, man, I mean, Fastly's going to break 75. I don't know how much of the market this thing can absorb. So breaking through 75, we'll get out of Fastly. It was a small risk, man. We got these positions right off the open, trying to see if it holds 75. It looks like it wants to break. So right now we are long Fastly, and there it goes. So now we're out of Fastly. So a little bit of a move downside there. We'll flush ourselves down the hole for Fastly. The day is still positive, though. As you can see, we've got some big winners in the micro spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And just going to get over to Gilead here. Accidental trigger, so I just immediately get in and out. But I'm looking to short now off of the 64 level. It was 64.50, but you're not seeing any push to the upside, which is usually my reason to get in. So it looks like the rollover trade and the sell-off could be in play here on Gilead. It's having some trouble getting northbound. You can also look at a 62.70 trade if it wants to break the bottom. Bit of a level aftermarket as well, support that could break. But I'm watching now 64, so I'll take anything around that 40 to 50 area on a short play in Gilead. Looks like it's going to be a good one to you guys. I just want to go back over to, because obviously everyone's going to be watching Socket. That's going to be the play today in terms of one of the strong names. It's holding consolidation. I took the breakout, got some out at the top, and then got out flat the rest. It's this level down here at about 350, 360 that if it can't break it, I think it might get another leg to the upside. So we have to watch this one, Socket. I'm not sure it's done taking the top off here just yet. Below 350, I'll be more of a believer in that.
Yeah, we're loving Socket right now as well, but we have to wait to see. Okay, JP Morgan right now, we did take that. I mean, I'm long everything here because we're waiting to see if something can break or what can happen here, but the market was not expecting this today. I thought the debate actually went quite well and was not expecting this in the market. Thought the market would like it and head to the upside here. Like, again, I changed my charts and it just stays on there. Okay, so we're long JP Morgan. I have huge upside targets for this name. There it goes. A nice of 20, 30, 40 cent win here on JP Morgan. Making moves, man. We're long at 103.55. It's in the money 30 cents. I told you we like this name. JP Morgan to the moon here. Let's see if we can take it out. Look at the daily chart. I'm trying to hold this one for as long as we can. I think we can break out here. 105.20 breaking out. I don't know if it's, I mean, if it gets to 105 today, hell yeah. But we'll wait on that. But right now, JP Morgan, we did like that one. Through now 103, 104. This is a nice little 50 cent win right now on JPM, guys.
Nice trading over there on JP Morgan. Sometimes we neglect the banks over here. Looks like it's not going to be today. Going to go back over to CLPS so we can cover the positions that we have. I haven't added to this one. This was just off this nice 5 level. A little bit of an iceberg that was down at like 490 or so that we're able to short in front of. And then, of course, a 5 even area for some resistance. Just got some out in front of 450. Said I would. So we did. We'll take that 10% return. But, 388, like I said, was a close. Yesterday, I'm looking at this level here, and there was a bit of action post-market around that 410 to 420 area. That's the ultimate target for me on this short. If we can get that big of a win, I'll be very happy on CLPS. Brendan, what you got?
Here goes Mattel, guys. Just approaching these levels from aftermarket yesterday following the earnings report, 1430 to 40. Watch that area. Big time volume coming into the upside, though, for Mattel, guys.
I told you we like that name, Mattel, there. So our position board's not working. We've been knowing about that for a while now, so hopefully that'll get fixed very, very soon for you guys. But right now, just to let you know, I'm long JP Morgan right now. We're still long some small Socket here. We've got in and out of that one. We're still in. We're out of 60%. We still have 40. Giving it to this 350. It looks like it's going to break right now. So we'll be out of the there it goes. So we're out now. You can see that down tick. So basically a flat trade on that, and actually going to be close to a flat trade if Zedge also breaks back down through 250. So some of these micro caps, great off the open, and then we took a little small long, not much there, but we did take that long after getting out, back in, and now we'll wait to see on the low side here of Zedge. We're initially long at 270, so I think this is a pretty key price right around here, guys.
Yeah, Gilead's having all kinds of trouble getting to the upside here. My eyes are glued to the top here in Mattel just because we're watching that 1450 to see if it does want to take out yesterday's high, which I'm a little more concerned with than the current at 1435. But if Gilead can't break and hold above 63, I might have to short it right away. As for Mattel, if it rolls over, I mean, I will take a shot off of this high. If we start turning and I can risk 20 to 30 cents off of 1450, and then it doesn't even have to break the low, that's going to be a good one for me, and I'll take a shot at it. But I need to go back over to MDGS and update you guys on this position. I've been taking profits in front of this 270. That's why you'll see some legs here. Once it breaks through, and it looks like we're about to do that now, next stop down will be 250, short here at 285. So it'll be a 30 to 35 cent win target for the second half of this position. 240 was the close. I don't expect it to go too much further than that. That's yesterday's close. Brennan, what's up, bud?
Another one to look at here, guys. Little tiny one. Dogness International. This is a pet brand store, online pet brand store in China. They teamed up with another company to expand their work over in mainland China. So big move here. DOGZ on the NASDAQ, up 100%, guys.
Yep, exactly. And okay, so we'll take a look at that. I'm looking at a bunch of different names right now. We're going to check out see what Intel's doing. I like Mattel through this 1440, so let's just see. I really hope that wasn't the move up, and we should have already been short, but maybe here as Mattel makes that big move off the open. We still are working to get our position boards going, guys, so get ready for that. There goes Mattel. Yeah, it just did pull right back there, so missed opportunity, I feel like, on Mattel there. That was a great top, and we identified that, like you mentioned there early, Neil. Palantir yesterday was a big trade for us, and I think we could do it again here today. 978, 980. If we could break that on Palantir, let's go long. But other than that, JP Morgan now, one of the only trades we have on, ripping to the high side, 104. We're in at 103.50. We gave that one to you. Let's see what it wants to do at 104. Our video yesterday was level 2. Well, there, okay, I was just going to show you there's some big size there at 104. It just chewed through that, and now you're going Rip City. A nice little 55-cent win right now on more than that, 65 cents. Now on JP Morgan, going to the high side. We like that one, guys.
Sean delivering the knockout punch, otherwise known as a KO to JP Morgan. And yeah, that's right, I'm doing it.
Good one.
We have Kevin O'Leary coming through. That's the real KO coming through here very, very shortly, guys, at 10:15. So I want to make sure you know, stick around, get excited. If you have questions, do not hesitate to throw them in the chat. He's the man. We know we can talk about just about anything. So ask the questions in the chat. We'll do our best to get them real time to Mr. Wonderful himself. Look, it's nothing. Look, I love Mattel too. And Sean, if you have kids, how can you not understand this story and why it's so good? But it's this trade setup structure that I'm working with here. It turns around off of this high, short of where it got to post-market, 14.50, 35 the current top. So if it rolls over here, I like the risk reward. I got 25s as my average price. Basically exactly where I want to have it. So if we get down into that low of the day, it's about 50 cents worth of profit. Call it 25 to 50 cents for all your targets, and then risking less than 25 cents to the upside, or exactly that if we do get a bit of a break. So I like Intel here. Another one, sorry, new position alert. And I done it, you know what? And I just threw my stop at the wrong place. I'm not going to do it now because I got 5 positions. But I shorted off of 14.50 and had my stop at 35 for bad reasons. That means I owe you guys push-ups, and I'll do them after I've cleared up some of these positions. Why did I say I'd do that yesterday and then immediately make that mistake this morning? That's on me.
We just want Mattel, Neil.
New position alert. Yeah, Mattel is breaking through that top, so watch out 14.50. But BIMI, another one of these names here, making a run at the high. If it breaks 270, watch out. I'm shorting it off that high. Once it rolls over, I'll take some more.
Yep, I'm trying to watch Mattel here as well. 14.12s or so could be our out. 14.10s if it does fail. But Mattel already took some out. It's going long side. Let's go with this one. JP Morgan, by the way, exploding hells to the we go bullish on JP Morgan. $1 now in the money for this big bad boy. Let's go, Brendan.
Guys, some strength coming in the solar group. So SPWR and that Jinko Solar, JKS, both gapping higher this morning, but they're trying to fade that gap. Still up 2% here for SPWR, but coming back in. Have a look at JKS, already back to where we were yesterday. This all is tied into some of the comments that Vice President Joe Biden, or former Vice President Joe Biden, was saying yesterday about his plans for clean energy. Guys.
Right. And that's where I think also I neglected and forgot to talk about that with Tesla there, that could be also a tailwind for them, as, you know, if it is a blue wave coming through there on the election, then renewable energy is like, I heard Joe Biden say that, like, I don't know, I think it was 430 times yesterday. So that's a good one. I mean, I'm congratulating him on that. Obviously, Donald Trump still believes in a lot of the oils and that industry, and I think it's great for jobs. So don't get me wrong there. But obviously, Tesla, the more the Democrats get in charge here, the better it is for them. I'm going to go long on Tesla to defend that 410 area. So get ready. You're going to see some longs coming in here on Tesla. Oh, man, we're still split adjusted on this. But 410 has been a good hold here for Tesla. So watch out on that one. We're going to get long soon, Tesla, guys. Brendan, what up, B?
You mentioned GE, guys, right before the open there. Just broke $8 there on a volume spike. Watch out for 9, and then 9.20 was that Piper Sandler target for GE, guys.
Ooh. Yeah, definitely got to be watching G. Just want to update a couple of the positions so you can see BIMI starting to slide off here, so it does not take out that high. You've now put in consecutive levels here off of 260. My short is at 252 as an average price, so risking about 20 cents, and first profit will take right around that mark. I'll take more out in front of this 225 double bottom, and if it can't break that, obviously, you know your short's in a little bit of trouble. Also, to get back to CLPS, this name starting to continuing to round down here. So it's not really concerning me. I think once we get that 450 break another time here, we'll get down to that 425 to 410 target downside. Mattel.
Yeah, it's failing a bit.
Yeah, it is failing a bit. And look, I didn't. This is all on me because my stop should have been at 450, but that just means if it rolls over again, I just try the trade again. And it's that simple. So I'm going to jump back in if I can. And as I say it, probably should have hit the short at 25 as it just went 10 cents on me. I want to take this trade at 25 to 30 at the average price I had last time. I should never have taken it off. That was a bad mistake by me. Keystrokes happen to you, and too many positions on. And speaking of that, do have to continue to cover some of these other names at EVK. Another name from yesterday's watch list. I shorted a bunch. It took out that 350 at the top. Once it could not break through this 375 area, I was looking for a place to get back in. I couldn't really catch it here at 340. So my price right now is 325, but I'm waiting to be able to dig in at a better price just in case it tests that 375 level one more time. I don't want to be too far away from that.
We're in socket mobile here, guys, 58. It's bounced off around a little bit here. I'm going to use like 45s, break through 50 here to let it go. So I just think right now it's worth a 10-cent spot here. Here it goes coming back down, but I can afford to lose this 10 cents on this name if it does happen. But we are long right now 58s on socket. We're long JP Morgan. We're long Mattel as well. That comes right down to VWAP. We don't get out, but the order's sitting there. So we're going to see if that breaks through VWAP 1409. 1408 or so. That's what's going and that's what's good right now. Tesla, there we go. We're into this position now, Neil. Let's see if it holds that 410.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla, obviously, we talked about this name. It's going to be that downward action. And the other thing we should always be paying attention to is what's going to happen with NIO here. You thought maybe they would get some positive wins from that? Nope, no chance. A NIO flushing to the downside. So I'm not even going to be looking at NIO for any kind of a bounce. I feel like Tesla is driving that market. Watch out for CLPS. So we did take some profit down in and around that 450, and it just ramped to the upside. I got some back in off this 5 level, and we're really starting to test up to this 5 quarter. I'm not letting it get past that price. This one could be another one testing the top, and the reason why I'm going to give this not too much room is if it does test this top here at 580, I'm not holding a 490 short all the way to that price. I'll just get back in if it fails at that 580. So watch out for clips. I'm just going to keep calling it clips. The CLPS, if it does break 525, I'm going to be out. If it holds, I'm adding to my position. So if it does not violate that 525 level, I'm going to be adding to my position short and then looking to work it right back down to that 450.
Okay, we're working on our position board. That'll get fixed very soon. $1 and change now. $1.50 in the money now on Tesla. We picked it up at 413, guys. Let's see if this can come back to VWAP. Take a $5 winner. I'd love to get it back into this area. It goes. $2 now in the money on Tesla. Go! We'll see if we can make a little bit of money on that one. Oh, socket. I thought it was going for us there. It goes 10 cents in the money. We don't take it. Maybe you'll take a little piece out. Our risk is 10. So if we can take a little piece out up here for 10, we should do that. But here comes making moves back to the downside. He goes socket. So, but Tesla now $2.50 in the money. What's up, Brendan?
Another one, guys. Gilead from the watch list, 3.6%, still holding below 63. Tested it a couple of times here. This is kind of that ledge from aftermarket yesterday. This 63, but not a huge move yet for Gilead. But looking like it might want to test lower, guys.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can call that one a bit of a miss, and it's not a miss on the call for Gilead, but it's just not being able to get into the right execution range. I should have been a little bit more aggressive. I wanted something up towards 64. The setup for me on this play with these vaccine names has always been to allow the market to open and then somebody buying off of the good news. But that it just wasn't quite as big as I expected. It really only came up like 50 cents. Gilead could continue to roll over. And I'll just go short at 62.60. Now you see the position board, so it is fixed. So thank you to the team for getting that. We're back to normal here, guys. Watching Gilead, I'm going to go 62.60. That's the breakdown trade. If it tests 64, I'll try it, but I'm not thinking that's going to be overly likely the way it's selling off right now.
All right, guys, there it is. Thank you so much for that, team, and thanks for everyone being patient with the position board.
Yeah.
You're coming in and you're seeing Tesla long, 413.21. So board don't lie. You may not believe us, but there it is, 413 long. Let's wait to see how high it goes. I'm looking at this 417.50. If we can get that, great. I'm completely fine losing if we wind up doing that on this position. I do like it. We protected 410 a few times, and I think that that's something that can hold. So let's wait to see if Tesla does hold. hold those levels, man. Fastly's doing okay. We did take this off the open. We did talk about that. Nothing going. A small little 50, 60 cent hit there on Fastly, or was it a little bit more? The net is small because we weren't into too many shares, but we'll watch out for Fastly going through now, coming to the upside. Mattel, though, does get flushed down. We did try that long early. It goes down to 410 and breaks. I'm looking at this 425 now. Sorry, 1425, coming right back in. Oh, like, of course it gets me out. Let's get back in 1425 on Mattel, guys. What up, Pete?
Big spike in Cation Auto, guys. Remember that KXIN just popping up here? Remember last week we had that big move up to 13, but volume and a price spike through to $6 for KXIN.
All right.
And speaking of names that we should be talking about, McAfee here. Of course, you remember yesterday's debut. I mean, it's not really a debut because McAfee used to be public, but it was a range-bound trade, 1850, the current low of the day. Talked about the liquidity being good. I'm going to take a shot buying in front of this both opening range low and then that round dollar level at 1850. So if I get something in the 55 to 60 range, we're going to take a quick little long on McAfee and see if we can't work this one to our advantage here because it has been range-bound. You saw it go all the way up in reverse at 20. It hasn't been able to get above that issue price, so I'm not expecting it's going to be a home run. I think we sell in front of that 20 if we ever get there again.
Are we that low? I was, we're at 1874.
1870.
Yeah, okay, that's higher than I thought. I was waiting for it to break that bottom of yesterday, 1830. Look, I mean, I love this Tesla trade. That's Mattel right now. I like this Tesla trade, but the futures, man, they're not acting properly for longs. If you're short, it's been a fantastic day. Most every single name making moves to the downside right now. Tesla, Microsoft, everything coming off today, man. And it's not huge. We're only down 1%, or we were down 1% at the bottoms there of Microsoft. But look at these NASDAQ futures, man, just escalating, getting lower and lower and lower. We just cracked that 11,600. We've talked about 11,600 a couple times. So I think we got to start looking for some shorts at some point here and then make that move because, yeah, this market going downside there. I took Mattel breaking through 1425. I'm going to give it this low again, 1408. If that breaks, we're going to go 0 for 2 on Mattel. Not huge shares, more now than we were the first time. So let's wait to see. With a small little bit of a risk here, I think it's well worth it. We'll take another long if it breaks through 1430. Let's keep massaging this trade, guys.
Yeah, first 10% out, and we'll go Superman action on BIMI. It's starting to break down here. Look, you get a failure that's right at the high, that's almost ideal here, and once I see it happen, I had to chase it a bit, but I'm going to add to my short. I said I would do it. That's exactly what I've done, and now looking at a 255 average on BIMI, and we'll short this one. I just took some out for 10 cents, and then we'll take some out for 10, 20, then 30 in front of 225 when that breaks, and we're looking at $2 for an ultimate target. Brendan, what's up, bud?
Intel, guys, just popping up on a volume scanner back to the downside. There was support there in the pre-market around 48.25, just broke, so we're coming up to 48 here on Intel, starting to work downside as well.
Has the potential to do well for us here, but yeah, we are trying to look. Like I'm trying to maybe go short on a few things. Intel might be that name at 48.65 there. Thanks for bringing that up, Brendan. We did watch Intel have that bad report yesterday, so more to come from them, obviously. But that little bottom there where we just made it 47.70. Let's see if that holds. I think that's worth a good long testing down there, 47.70, guys.
So I did finally get those 25s again in Mattel, and you know what I owe you later. It is what it is. Bit of a mistake on my part. 1450, this is where Mattel got to in the aftermarket, and that was that high. It's like, call it like 45, but I always round those up. And 1449 is where it turned around. This is a reversal long for me if it does break this price. So I have the short, willing to risk 25 cents plus slippage. That means until it breaks 14 even, it's not a successful trade. And then hopefully I'll hang on to a little bit here if it can take out that 1375. And it's just more of a gap fill, profit taking. It's Friday, the market.
Yeah.
Very, very sideways. I mean, the ES, I just looked over. I mean, the ES is actually very, very slightly positive. Kind of surprised me. I thought we were turned negative on that already. I want to go back to McAfee. I didn't actually get the execution down here. Unfortunately, I'm looking to get something around 1870, but it just popped up a little bit. No need to chase it. McAfee's been a pretty stable stock, so it's not one that I'm going to chase any positions. I'll let it come back down to me, which I really think it has a good chance to. The way it was range bound yesterday, sort of leading my thinking in that direction.
So Tesla just rips up for us again, man, to 416 and change. That would have been a $4 win. So we're going to wait to see if we can get some of this off here. The market is coming back, though. So I told you we were a little skeptical of some of these Tesla longs, but I'm still in it. So we'll wait here. If it comes back upside, I think this is well worth getting out 417. So we're going to park an order around 416 and 50 or so and see if we can't get some of that out. What up, Pete?
You mentioned Nikola earlier, Sean. Just saw GM coming up on a volume scanner. Just double checking to make sure there's nothing too significant here. Yeah, day highs here for GM, 1.5%. Going to keep looking, but decent volume here as well for GM today.
Okay. Yeah, worth a look there. Thanks, Brendan. Nikola, the level that I mean, here comes Tesla coming right back down. Watch out. I told you this is going to be a sketchy trade, I feel like, for Tesla for a bit. Nikola coming back downside again. I like 2350. We talked about that off of a high wick from 2 days ago. Not coming into play, though, right now, that trade. So we're going to have to wait for Nikola. Making a bottom here, 22. We'll do a little more work on that one. But right now, guys, Mattel, look, it goes rips. It goes up to 35. We tried to get some out there, but missed. So I'm layered right now, 33, 34, 35. But if it comes to the downside, we're going to get out of that one as VWAP has moved a little bit upside now. So watch out for Mattel here. I'm still long and strong this name, and I do believe in it, but that's Mattel. And one more, Neil, before I give it back to you. JP Morgan, we're still long. I hope that's on the board. We're long right now. That's 75 cents in the money off of this beautiful 103.50 position we took early, guys.
I'm going to do a backflip, another target hit on BIMI, so we continue the run to the downside. Remember, 225 will definitely be a bit of support. It's already double bottom pre-market, so you can't ignore it. Got to take some shares off there. It might even take off just close to or maybe even more than half the position on the off chance it bounces off that level, and then we can get back into some more shares there. I still have, I'm basically flat on Mattel, so I mean, we're different directions, and feels like neither one wants to go just yet. I mean, obviously, there is still some time for that one to run for us in either one of us. I want to go over to not BME. I wanted to get back. There it is. Beyond Meat. Haven't really talked about this one too much, but it is getting down towards some interesting levels. This 170. Of course, you saw the flush yesterday. That's come and gone. It's basically flat, but I'm watching out for this 170 to possibly get taken out. It was under pressure. You saw a sell-off. The market's sort of coming down, looking for things that could go short, that we can go short in. So I'm watching Beyond Meat here through like a 170 even, maybe scalp it all the way down to yesterday's bottom. That was 167, and change. So let's see if we can't get a $1 to $2 scalp, but I wanted it only at 170 on Beyond Meat. Brendan, what's up, bud?
Another big mover to the downside today. Limelight Networks, guys, 30%, coming up to 30%. Big move aftermarket to $5. Now we're down to $4 almost for LLNW. Earnings were bad. Couple of downgrades on this one today.
All right, I think he did, guys, if you check the chat there. Okay, look, I just canceled that Tesla order. I don't know, man. I mean, if the market does get going here, I think obviously Tesla can take this VWAP and then even come to, I don't know if we can get to 425, but I think we have a decent long. We're basically long at the bottom here, so hopefully you have that with us, and if you do, good, because I like it, and hopefully it will hold, but if it doesn't, we're waiting down here for some more to pick up a little bit more if we can below this, and then our ultimate out, just so you know, is going to be 410. So 409 and change we'll get out of Tesla if it does come back in. We're trying to make, like, look, I could have took $3 on this numerous times, and I've acknowledged that. And if you want to take it, then take it. But for me, I'm going to wait for Tesla to see if we can't get a little bit of a bigger win off this. I did talk down the story there, and I talked it up, but I didn't really like what was happening there in China. But yeah, we're going to see right now. Maybe you should have took those profits, obviously, as it's coming down. Easy to say, but we were long there. We could have took $3. Well worth the risk, because it's only going to be a $3 loser if we do lose. So let's hope for the upside here on Tesla.
Just watching, just gonna go back to socket, man. I don't have a trade on. I've only taken the one breakout that was a quick win and then basically a flat trade. I watched it bottom out here and unfortunately didn't have a shot at this 333 level, which, I mean, oddly enough, it looks like it was a bit of a level in the pre-market in terms of a top and then holding a bit of a bottom there as well. So it's going to be 330 now. I'm going to check that. I was saying 350, 360, but I'm now looking at 330, call it 325. I don't like it until it's below that price for shorting, or if it makes another run to the high. And I had when I wrote down here, I basically was thinking maybe 5 even. 450 has been kind of a double top. So if it tests it again and fails, I could look at it in that regard as well. EVK, and shout out to Brent. I know some of you guys have that BME. Good look. I've gone over that trade a few times here, but I have not talked about EVK just yet. I did take a hit. The first short, I unfortunately couldn't get back in until my current price at 322. That's on me. Thank you, Valeria. I'm going to need all the coffee we can get today because it's a wild one, and it's going to get even better when Kevin O'Leary comes through. But here comes EVK to the downside. I just took a 20-cent win, and then down here again for about 25 pennies. If it breaks the low, I think I can add through 290. Otherwise, I'm looking to short a pop into 335. Either way, probably should have been heavier into the short like I was the first time. I just couldn't catch it at 330, 340 like I would have liked.
Thank you so much for the refill there, Valeria, on the coffee. But okay, here comes Mattel to the north side here. Look, I don't know, 10% seems like it's a lot, and I agree with that. The short interest is about 20% on this name, so let's just see if it gets squeezed, similar to how Bed Bath & Beyond moved the other day. And I'm going to try to find out if my wife is watching, who makes LOL dolls. We can find out about that and see if that's one of the catalysts to this, because maybe I need to make some money back for everything that we've spent. And there we go. It's a chicken dinner winner right now, as Mattel making move to the upside right now, getting out like 37, 38, 39s. Good little trade there. We're long at 28. We did get stopped out of a little bit down there at 14.10. Long again. So let's see, man. Our average price is only 28 because we do have a mixed blend here of trades. Let's see if it goes to the high side right now. Mattel going. Unfortunately, though, our Tesla is right back to flat city right now. So we're right back to where we got in. Should have took that 350. Did not. But yeah, guys, coming up, as Neil mentioned, I'm going to drop the graphic right now for this and hope that this is the right one. Coming up very soon, Kevin O'Leary. 10:15 a.m. We're super excited to have him come through. We're going to be talking MindMed, a few other interesting topics as well. So look out for that. KO coming up with Brendan very, very soon, guys.
Yeah, excited for that. I'm going to go over MDGS just quickly again because it's starting to get down to that level, and this is the 265 where I took my last target out. You're going to see I haven't covered any more of this position, and it's basically an average of like 284 is my price. I know I had some at $3 now. It's early in the pre-market. Those are all gone. It's just this reload here, 84s, 85s, 86s, that we're now taking again about 10% wins on. But it's come and gone. It's now all about that 240 to 250 target. The only other way to play this is if it catches a bounce here, I would give it one more shot in front of 3, but only one more. The volume's tapering off. That's a good sign for the shorts. When the volume tapers off. So I like this one southbound. And as I say it, here we go breaking that 260, but it's 240 to 250. That's my next target down on MDGS. This Mattel, I mean, it's a frustrating trade because one of us should be winning on this trade. It's ridiculous. If it doesn't go anywhere, we both lose. But everybody wins when we get Brendan at the big screen. Time for happening now.
Good one.
Yeah, hey guys, let's talk about North American markets here. We'll show you a little bit of a muted board so far. We have NASDAQ in negative territory here, almost 0.5%, for the most part, 0.5% for tech stocks. So overall, bit of a choppy start to the day. You can see the S&P 0.14% to the upside. It was higher earlier. The Dow coming back in as well, almost red, in fact, for the Dow. The Russell here, small caps, 0.5% still to the upside. So a little bit of back and forth to kick things off so far this morning. Here in Toronto, the TSX 0.07%. Brazil still negative, down 0.2% on the day. Let's have a look at a couple of things from the watch list, still kind of on the radar here. You can see, look at Gilead. I mean, it's 4%, but we're up, we're down, we're up, we're down, we're up, we're down. We're back to 63. So it's been higher, it's been lower, kind of right back to where it started at the day for Gilead. Uber, another one, back to the upside initially, took out this level, right back down to 36. We're stuck in the middle now. So everything a little bit range bound. If we shift over here real quick to Lyft, you'll see the same thing. We tested this level from yesterday, kind of stuck in the middle around 25.50 for Lyft, guys. Back over to you.
Okay, and FYI, I agree with you on that, Mattel, Neil. I wish that would start working. If you want to get reloaded, now is the time because Tesla's right here at 411.30. We did take another average in there at 411.50. So our price is 412.50 right now. So we're only out $1. I mean, we're not sweating this, but our downside right now. So our average price is 412.50. Our out is going to be 09.50 or so. So I think that's a $3 risk. That means that if in order for this trade to make any real sense, we do need to get back to here 415 or so. we will take some off if we can get, I mean, you can see VWAP, man, heading to the south side there. I wish I would have just stuck with my initial gut feel on this story that it was no good for Tesla, obviously, because China can do, like we mentioned, whatever the hell they want. So there goes JP Morgan as well. So that's the Tesla trade. It's already planned out. I make it out to some of this JP Morgan if we can get 104.25 right now. It's absorbed a lot of this tech wreck. So JP Morgan coming to the upside, hopefully, but now fading back in. A lot of the longs not working out. Here goes Tesla. Watch out. It's going to break 410 right now, guys. My order is already set to go. It's not going to be a good one, but hey, I'm really, really happy. Not happy because it's going down, but we identified this level. We took it. Now it looks like it may break, but that's 410 in change going. It's a good opportunity, and I got my money in right now. Sometimes you're going to lose, but if the odds are with you, this is something that you got to take. I'm not talking up or down this position. I just like it and just don't want you guys to get caught. If it does break through 410, I think that's an exit spot.
I'm going to go with the cash cow. It is good to be me when I'm short beamy. And I go from a good transition to Brendan to a horrible pun that you guys will love and, well, probably hate. But beamy goes down to that 325. This is where I said take some profit off. I didn't hit that. I know who hit it. And yeah, you guys were sauce yesterday.
You never looked better.
We enjoyed 100K, and we might as well have fun with it all day long. But watch out, guys. If you're shorting this beam, I know some of you are looking this stock today. 225 double bottom could be a triple here. I'd almost consider, and I already have. I mean, I've taken off 75% of my position in front of it. If it breaks, it's a hold down into $2. If it bounces back up, one test. It has to be below 250 that it turns for me to jump back into some more shares. If it tests the high of the day, that's breakout territory, and it's obviously made some support down here. So I wouldn't fault anybody trying to go long off 225. Obviously, I'm holding my short, so I'm not going to be doing that myself.
Okay, guys, Tesla's actually, yeah, I mean, look, Beamy, we're trading everything today. I've been trading Bitcoin, some JP Morgan, some Tesla. I got Palantir on. We've got Mattel on. Fastly's been in the blotter and out as well. So we're trying to hold Tesla here, holding this 410. I mean, if it holds it, fantastic. We're bouncing around. We're $1 out right now on Tesla. I mean, to say that sounds crazy because we're, a risk of $1 on Tesla. No, we're going to risk a little bit more than that, a couple bucks down here to 410 and change. Let's see if it gets going, man. Averaged in. Our average price is 412.50 right now. Let's just see if it goes. JP Morgan, though, man. Nice little trade happening right here. That's now 70 cents in the money. Goes JP Morgan. So Neil already hit the cash cow. Let's just drop down some money right now. We do have Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, coming on. He knows all about this money, so let's catch that. Let's catch that money and see if we can talk a little bit about that with him very, very soon. Tesla making the move now. Hells to the yeah. There goes Tesla now to the upside. We're back to flat. Very excited and interested about this position. If we can get it back here to a technical level, look, we don't just take hero trades here, right, Neil? We're looking to make sense and educate you guys on trading. This is not stocks only go up, stocks only go down. This is real trading, guys. We've averaged in. We see this breakout spot here. Now let's see if this can go to the high side. Mattel, though, failing. We're going to get out if it breaks this bottom right here, guys, 1408.
And Sean, it would be irresponsible of me if I didn't, with Kevin O'Leary coming in like 10 minutes or so, be irresponsible if I didn't look at this. You guys can see a daily chart of mine, man. I know you guys have seen it from when we had him on the show months ago, and it was a 50-cent stock. But look, I'm just watching this range of the last of this week. $1.25 to $1.40. You have a 10% range through the top. It was a previous resistance point on a bit of a pullback. So we're on top of that level. 125 seems like a nice little buy. Even just for a 10% scalp trade, it's going to be the top break I think you got to be concerned with as well. So it's a psychological level above at 150. It's doing 500,000 shares worth of volume, and I think maybe buying it off of that 125 support is probably the way to go on a swing or a day trade. So I'm watching it here in Toronto Exchange, guys. So a 125 looks like a good opportunity. And of course, it's an upward trend. That's why buying the dip for a day trade or any kind of a swing makes a lot of sense to me. Just kind of called that one up. And thank you. I didn't see who it was because that chat moves fast, and I apologize when I do miss the name. But I did see someone throw that in there, and of course, I didn't want to neglect that stock, which is looking like it's on the move today. MDGS, last out, of course, was at 265, and the second I say it looks like I'm going to get my 250 target, now it's just going sideways off that level. This has happened to me before, and I am still actually holding on to more than a third of my position. Usually I wouldn't have this many when it came down, but I kind of felt pretty good that I'd get those 240s to 250s. I got to change my tone. I should only have 20% if it makes this bottom. So I'm going to have to take some off if it tries to violate 275 here. MDGS, I had some shorts at 3. 285 is the current short that we have on here, and it seems like it's finding a bit of a bottom.
Okay, yeah, I mean, great analysis there, and we'll just continue to rock and roll with this segment. Palantir, I got long defending this 950 level, so look where we're long. Boom, a nice little win right there. Line it up. Look, there's no more baseball, but we'll step up to the plate here and try to make things work here for Palantir. This is a recent IPO. Mr. Wonderful won't like this stock as, their sales numbers through the roof right now. What are they, like 70 times or something? Palantir. But look, with IPOs, you got to take a little bit of a risk sometimes and trade this one. Down here to 950, making moves up to 965. Let's just check out a quick day chart on Palantir. It doesn't look like anything because we just IPO'd, so not much happening. But look at this, defending the bottoms there. This is that little blowout area. I think 994. I mean, let's just call it 10 bucks even. I think we can get to there, but let's take a little bit off. Look at this big move up here. A nice little risk moment here. 958. If we can take off 10 cents here on a $9 stock, well worth it. Remember, guys, pigs get slaughtered, and you don't go broke if you do hear this every once in a while. Oh, I just missed the cash register. Let's throw the cash around. You got to take some off the table. Play with house money, guys. Always great advice.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip into a bit of a long at some point on Mattel, but it just slid back down below 14. Here's the thing, 1375. That's the pre-market bottom. It's looking like it wants to hold that, so you're gonna see me take these shorts off. And yes, I know I owe you guys push-ups, and I will do them when I'm not holding 5 positions. So I shouldn't have had this off the first short. I also should have had it a little bit closer to that 1450 mark. But now that it's rolled over, if it holds a pre-market bottom, that's a bit of a bullish sign. The market is coming down, but it's not like we're in free fall territory. And let's remember here, Mattel crushed it. This is just a pullback trade off of a failure at the high. I still like this stock. I like their story. But need to hold that 1375. And I only had the last third of this position on as it does speak. We've teed it up. We're very excited. I'm excited. We're all excited here. I know you are excited. Time to get to the desk because Brendan's got Mr. Wonderful on the line.
Hey guys, yeah, very, very excited to have our good friend Mr. Wonderful back with us. Kevin O'Leary joining us, chairman of O'Leary Financial Group, Shark Tank investor, season 12 already for Shark Tank. So we're going to touch on Shark Tank coming up with Kevin. Good to see you once again, Kevin. We reached a big milestone here yesterday. On behalf of everyone, first off, we wanted to thank you once again for your time. You've been very, very generous with your time, both on our show and otherwise, obviously. But we got to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube yesterday, which was a bit of a milestone. So from all of us here, thank you, first of all.
That's really great. You know, the first 100,000 is almost impossible to get. If you get to 100,000, you can get to 1 million. They actually give you a medallion at 100,000, so make sure you pick that up.
Yeah, we're going to definitely apply for our plaque, which was the first thing we did yesterday. So very excited about that. Let's jump into all things MindMed. Last we spoke, we had some exciting news about MindMed. More news over the past couple of weeks coming out. And what a move this stock has been on. Give us the latest on MindMed.
You have to look at MindMed as part of a sector. There's a huge sectoral move going into the space as psychedelics as medicine. And the reason is that every time one of these companies, and I include MindMed, Compass is another, Atai is private, but one of the 3 horsemen likely to come public. I'm a sectoral observer. Each one of these molecules that's being tested is trying to solve multi-billion-dollar problems around addiction, depression, ADD, alcoholism. So investors look at that and say, how do I put myself into a position where I get the upside if any or some or all of these different molecules prove to be good medicine? And so the way you have to look at it, and the move that, and this is my own opinion, what happened with MindMed is, MindMed was the first to get out there using the Neo Exchange. It had multiple molecules, 18MC was the big one, but it also started to develop new relationships. The most important one of recent times, which I think has a lot to do with the excitement around the stock, is NYU Langone, which is going to be partnering with the company in looking at these as medicines for depression, and that's in the LSD area. So you start to think about what can happen. Now, since we last met, another company went public on NASDAQ, Compass Pathways, and that thing has got a huge market cap. I mean, well over $1 billion, and yet it only has 1 molecule in trials. So you start to think portfolio. Now, I'm a shareholder there too, but I want as many trials as I can get in as many places at as many levels, because you go stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. MindMed has actually 6 different opportunities, of which 3 are in second stage trials. So I want to be long MindMed. I want to be long also Compass, knowing that they're a little riskier, in my opinion, with only one molecule. And then whoever else comes down the road, I'm a sectoral investor. But the excitement around this space is why you're seeing all that's going on for all of these stocks.
Yeah, we showed that chart there real quick. Kevin, you mentioned Compass there. Yeah, a bigger market cap significantly. Guys, we can throw that back up. Look at the move higher here for MindMed. MindMed on the left, Compass over here on the right, just comparing the two companies and their market cap. Now, we had the notice a couple weeks ago, I guess it was now, for MindMed and the NASDAQ listing. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that's also one of the reasons people are starting to focus on the stocks. Obviously, NASDAQ has a bigger institutional constituency. And so if you're an institution, you can't index this sector yet. There's no ETF that looks at psychedelics as medicine, nor have any of the biotech or pharma. And that's the space I live in, the indexing world. Nobody's actually indexed this yet because it's too nascent. So you're starting to look, you have to build your own portfolio. You have to say, okay, I'm going to own X amount of MindMed because the company has announced that they're moving their listing or maybe a co-listing to NASDAQ, where there'll be institutions that will look at it and say, well, I want to index 1 or 2, 100% or maybe 1 or 2% weighting in psychedelics as medicine. What do I have to own? Well, right now there's only really 2 names. And so that's really why there's a fair amount of excitement. There will be more names. There'll be more people coming into this sector. But for me, it's one of these months or years, one of these companies is going to get to level 3 trials and prove out the efficacy of this medicine, which is a multi-billion-dollar molecule. So we're all excited about it. I love it.
It's going to be an exciting next few weeks and months in the space, as you mentioned. Speaking of the pharmaceutical space, the topic on everyone's mind, obviously, COVID-19, the pandemic that doesn't seem to want to go away. There's this ongoing, almost a race to a vaccine. Give us your thoughts, I guess, both on the vaccine, the progress of coming up with a vaccine, and the overall pharmaceutical space.
I think as investors, because we're all talking as investors now, the way you got to think about this COVID thing is sometime in Q1, probably late Q1, we're going to get more approved therapeutics. Therapeutic being something you take when you get COVID. Just 45 minutes ago, I'm in Boston right now. I get tested every 72 hours. That thing goes right up into your brain. It ain't fun, but I'm in that protocol because I'm traveling and doing other things where I have to be tested. So that therapeutic, as soon as you test positive, you'll be taking the therapeutic to reduce, the impact the virus has on you. Look for those in late Q1. At least we already had one announced. There'll be others. The virus itself, I'm more in the Q3 kind of, thinking in terms of investing. And then you've got to get 100 million doses out. So I think we're going to be COVID-centric, social distance, certain sectors beaten up badly, and I'll give you travel as an example, cruise lines, hotels, restaurants, the wedding industry. They're not going to recover till late next year. So if you're investing or looking for value opportunities, you have to start sniffing through those tulips. But right now, I wouldn't touch them because it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. So next year will be pivotal. You get the therapeutics in Q1, probably Q3 on the vaccine. Maybe it's Moderna, maybe it's going to be J&J, maybe it's Pfizer. Those are the 3 horses in the race. But whoever gets it, that'll be a big turning point. And then you want to own those stocks. Then you want to own travel. Then you want to own. You got to kind of time it because the moves on those stocks will be dramatic.
You mentioned a few names there. There's obviously multiple different vaccines being worked on currently throughout multiple different companies. Is it an idea where we kind of spread ourselves across the entire group and see what happens, or do you focus in on maybe 1 or 2 of the bigger ones?
The problem, let's just take airlines. That's where you get huge liquidity, large cap stocks. You can even go into the debt if you want, but let's just stay on the stocks because that's a space I've been in and out of forever. Right now, you don't know who's going to go bankrupt because somebody has to go bankrupt. Probably what happens, and this is the guess if you're a trader. How many companies, I'll give you an example of my companies. We are budgeting for next year, 2021, a 20% reduction in business travel. If I own control of the company and you want to get on an airplane to fly somewhere for business, you have to write me an essay telling me why. I don't know why you need to do that. Why can't you use Zoom technology or one of the other video platforms to do your work? And if you do have to fly somewhere, you got to go to a hotel, you got to rent a car. I don't want any of that cost. So we're budgeting 20% reduction. Now, that's not great for the airlines because the highest margin is in that business traveler. So that means 20% capacity has to go bankrupt. The airlines are really good at going bankrupt. They do this all the time. And then you take the poorer managers that go under because they have too much debt, you get rid of them. You take the assets, the planes, give them to the good managers. You want to own those airlines, probably a Delta, probably a United, right at the bottom when it looks the worst. And we're going to get there because we're not going to get a stimulus package till after the election. Then there's going to be a fight about why we're bailing out just airlines. Somewhere in Q1, there's going to be the dark day, and some airline's going to put up its hand and say, I have to go under. That's when you go long those two, in my view. And I think then you're going to be rewarded with probably a 20, 30% upside over the next 18 months as the sector readjusts for capacity. I
want to get your thoughts on this craze that we've seen this year on SPACs, the kind of rise of the SPAC, if you will, in a second here. But we might as well tie in some of these real estate stocks into this kind of discussion we're having, just because they're both one and the same in the sense that it's heavily based on what happens, what the outcome is. Last we spoke, we were talking about some of the REITs, real estate investment trusts. Are we there yet with these, or do we still have to wait?
No, you really gotta be very careful on the REITs because you've got to know what the underlying is. If you own commercial real estate or AAA office, you don't know what the hurt is yet because, in addition to not traveling, we're trying to reduce our footprint by a minimum of 15%. And I've got office space in Toronto I'm trying to get rid of right now. We don't need it. I got employees in logistics, accounting, and compliance that never want to come back to the office. I mean, half the traders we're talking to right now working out of their homes, and they're never going into an office. So think about that. So if you own those sectors and malls, they're radioactive waste. I mean, think about something like Bed Bath & Beyond closes 200 stores. That's an anchor in some of those B malls. And so those places are all going to go under. Now, in the case of, some of those facilities, they'll be changed into cloud kitchens, or they'll be changed into pick and pack climate controlled, or maybe they'll be turned into condos. But at the same time, the rest of the mall, that's a teenage wasteland. I mean, that's a zero. So you got to be really careful in that space. And on the SPACs, I'm an investor in some SPACs, but I know the sponsor, like Bill Ackman. Okay, I think Bill can find deals. The Gore brothers, I know the Gore brothers. I think they can find deals. If I don't know the guy, I'm not buying the SPAC because you're riding the horse. You're basically going into the deal thinking whoever the manager is, the sponsor, are going to find deals. And if you don't know who they are, it's probably a junk SPAC in my view. And
some of the SPACs that we've been seeing the most on a daily basis, as far as trading opportunities are concerned, have been around the EV space. We've seen a lot of these SPACs in the EV space, electric vehicles, obviously. Give us your thoughts on that space in general, and has it been more about the electric vehicles or about the SPACs?
You see, the problem with the last de-SPACings, as they're called, you got the Martha Stewart tomato hothouse deal. The thing makes no money. You got the EV deal that's going to compete with Tesla. I think those guys are going to get crushed like cockroaches. They tried to do a deal with GM, total screw up, management issues. I like SPACs where you're buying something with cash flow, as I like to say. When you buy something with cash flow, that's how you go. Because at the end of the day, you have to support the business. So when you're buying ethereal garbage, and I'm not saying Martha's hothouse is garbage, but the thing makes no money. So I don't know what it's worth. So you're taking a huge speculation. Basically, those are venture capital deals. I would rather see an Ackman deal where Bill goes and buys something with cash flow, and maybe he gets it at 7 or 8 or 9 times cash flow, and it trades up to 11. Now that's a SPAC. That's what I'm talking about. And that's the kind of deal that Gore does. That's the kind of deal that Ackman does. And some others, the Cohen, for example. Those guys are savvy. They don't buy garbage.
When it comes to the upcoming election, the other hot topic, obviously, on everyone's mind, less than 2 weeks away here until the election, how should investors be approaching this? How should we kind of prepare ourselves in front of the election for what is to come?
It's a great question. Just before I came on, I was looking at 2 trades that I've been waiting to do for a while. Chevron is a stock that has been slaughtered, and Schlumberger, which is going to end up being the largest oil service company. So an oil besides service. But because of the debate last night, when finally we got some policy, we heard from Biden that he is on a mission to wipe out hydrocarbons. I don't care what you think and how he said it. he basically came clean and said, look, I hate hydrocarbons. I want to transition out of it. Well, that's 2.6 million jobs in the United States. So I don't think he's going to get to do that right away. But the tone for those names is going to be very negative if he wins. Now, the way I look at it is, could have been an entry point today there. What I really would like as an entry point, and this is just a theory I have, is let's say it's a really close election. And I think after yesterday, Biden's probably going to lose Pennsylvania. You can't go and tell all the people working there that you're going to fire them from their fracking jobs. That was just sheer dumb. I guess he got messed up at the back end there. I'm sure he didn't want to say that, but that's going to cost him that state, in my view. That makes the election much tighter because there's other states like Texas and other ones that are going to listen. They just heard that fracking thing. They don't like it. And so you could have a situation where the election happens on the 3rd, and I'm talking about buying the names in the middle of chaos, because you may not know the winner till Saturday. Can you imagine the confusion during the week in the energy sector? That's the time to pick the tulips right in there, because it'll be a slaughter fest. Because you think Biden's going to win, those names go down 20% and more. You've already got a 10% yield on some of these oil names, and Schlumberger, all it knows how to do is go down. But at some point, there's value and cash flow. So that's a trade that I would have put on today. I'm waiting for the chaos.
Yeah, we were actually talking about a few of those earlier. Jinko Solar, SPWR, some of these names already starting to pop up on those headlines from the debate last night. Kevin O'Leary from O'Leary Financial Group. We're going to get Sean on here, and Sean has a question.
Hi, Kevin. Thanks again for coming back. The chat, everyone's loving you on here.
John, what's going on with your watch collection, buddy?
Oh, man. Yeah. Hey, thanks for remembering, my friend. Right now, actually, I have not added to it. I still got the Breitling. What I have on right now, though, is just a little smartwatch. You know why? Because I put the phone on Do Not Disturb, right? And then I need to know, I get the vibrates if it starts ringing. But next time you're on, I'm going to show you.
Sean, if you wear a smartwatch, your soul goes to hell. I really feel, I'm going to pray for you. That's brutal. While we're talking, let me just talk a little bit about new offerings that came on the market. You know, I love talking about watches.
Sure, let's go.
The new Submariners that Rolex just dropped, the 41 mils, these are up 105% in the aftermarket. So you get a basic entry-level watch like the Kermit right here.
Yeah, I see the green.
You're up
Beautiful.
105%. Something even hotter that came out of the gate a little slower. This is the new 41 millimeter Submariner blue on black. It's a white gold, smoking hot watch. I think there's only 2 of them in America. You're looking at one of them. The demand is insane from Asia, up over 100%. I buy these like trades, and I tell every trader, never buy an Apple Watch, because then you have to go to hell when you die. Be a man, buy a watch, get a real piece.
You know, I have real watches, Kevin, and we'll go back and forth on that next time. What I want to do, you gave us that Seiko Superman. I looked in Toronto for it, and there was one dealer, and I think it's gone now. So you did predict that as well.
I know the guy that bought it. He's actually watched your show, and that was a fantastic. Grand Seiko is the best value in the watch sector. Of course, everybody wants a Rolex as a starter. Get an entry-level Rolex, got a Submariner or a steel white-faced Daytona. Those are the guaranteed. You get them for like 13, 14 grand. They're worth 30 the next morning.
Great, good. I mean, investments, good call there. I want to give you credit for another investment. And you actually just talked about the space as well. When you were back here in April, and I have the chart up if you guys can flip over to it right now. XOM, you gave this call to us and to our viewers back down 37.38. I'm not sure if you remember. You're talking about the same thing as we're doing now about cash flow. How was that? Was that flow okay? We went all the way up to 54. You gave our viewers about a 65% return. Now back to the downside. We've got your picks now. Chevron, you talked about maybe during the depths of hell if Biden can come out and win that one. XOM, not sure I like that name. I do like your CVX.
No, I think on the oil you go Chevron this time. They've really kept a good balance sheet. And the other thing to note, the CEO's come out recently and said, I'm going to focus on a reduction in capex so I can pay the shareholder their dividend. The dividend means everything to me. The dividend is everything. The dividend is everything. That's the right messaging, because you're still at 7-8% on the div right now, and that's cash flow. Right. But that's the oil name. But you also want to take a little, put your toe in the water on oil services, because the largest on earth is going to be Schlumberger, and it's been slaughtered too. So those are my 2 names, but I'm waiting for, if Biden wins, those stocks will get crushed. Yeah, and that's the buying opportunity. And
because we talk about trading, I notice even the odds right now still, forget about the polls, but the odds in Vegas do have Biden as a pretty strong favorite. I like for cash flow, and one company's, a lot of places that have a lot of cash right now will throw some cash around. The banks. I've been recommending JP Morgan anytime we get under $100. Not sure if you like that. I kind of take the same approach as you do, Kevin, and thank you for teaching me all through these years as well. I like high quality dividend payers, the compound interest. My son listen to this, Kevin. Recently enrolled in the University of Waterloo for economics and computer science. He just went there. He maxed out his TFSA. He bought some Apple and he bought some Air Canada. So what I'm going to ask you right now is, what do you think about Air Canada here in Toronto? I know it's not going to be too popular down there in the U.S., but do you like that name at all? It's been beat up quite a lot lately. I'll actually call the stock up for you right now, just so we can quickly look at the chart. Air Canada downside right now. Don't know if they're going to need government funding or not. You're down to 16 and change, Kevin. We did make a move down here. This is the daily chart. It's not doing a hell of a lot, but we did fall from graces. 47.
I think you get another 10%, 15% down by February when the virus is at its peak, and the chaos of the election is over. I think Air Canada, there's no reason to get in today. There's going to be no good news for the next 2 quarters, so you can wait. Use your money to do something else more interesting. That is an El Morte stock. It's dead money. Money goes there not just to die, but to be tortured in hell. It's not going to do anything. So you wait. Why torture your money that way? Why not wait until it gets crushed some more and then go long?
Kevin, great one. Look, I'll get in trouble tonight if I don't mention this to you. My wife is a huge fan of the Bertello wood-burning pizza ovens. Fantastic. Great deal there on Shark Tank. Any update? How is that going? And we're loving those there. I just saw that they're on Amazon now. Congratulations.
Yes. Amazon just ordered 1,000 units from me for Canada, because everybody in Canada wanted it, and they had to buy it from the U.S. It was a crazy cost to move over the border.
Right.
So we're just killing it. We're just the Bertello oven. I've got one in my place in Toronto. I've got one up at the cottage. I get up in the morning, sometimes 5 a.m., and I'm cooking breakfast pie. I put my little outfit on. I got my chef hat. I'm running around. I love doing it. Flour all over me. I make the best pizza anybody's ever tried.
Kevin, I have seen you there on Instagram with those pictures, and my wife said, we got to get these in Canada. We got to get them. Ask Mr. Wonderful if he can hook that up, but it's on Amazon now, coming to Canada. Once again, congratulations. Good friend Neil also went to University of Waterloo. What's up, Neil?
I always got to shout out my alma mater there. But Kevin, both of you guys making me hungry. Thank you. We have to do a show and trade, and now I'm thinking about pizza here. But we have a lot of viewers watching right now, and there's a lot of questions in our chat. Everyone wants to get something to you here. But I have one in particular which I want to ask here. And this is from Nathaniel Engine here, one of our viewers. And he says, look, Mr. Wonderful, he's got $25,000, less than that in an account. So PDT issues in the States, can't really day trade. Now, obviously, there's good places to invest, tech being one of them. You got the O shares, OGIG, which you could say. But, what's your advice? How could they build value up over that 25,000 so they can get a little bit more active? What's the starting point? We have a lot of new traders, new investors in our particular community.
My son is like that. He's got 30 grand in an account, and all he wants to own is OGIG because it's up 80% on the year. And I say to him, no, Trevor, that is not diversification. All you own there are the internet giants. And yes, it's been a great run. For every dollar you put into OGIG, build the base of high quality dividend payers in OUSA. So in other words, OUSA cherry picks the S&P 500 for the highest quality balance sheets that are paying out div cash flow. And so that's your base. That's my largest holding. That's the biggest thing I own. And then you trim around the flower bed with things like OGIG or OUR or the mid caps. But the core holding has to be the highest quality stuff. Now, he loves OGIG because he likes to get, he thinks everything goes up 80% a year. And I'm trying to tell him, don't worry, you're going to have a really hard lesson if you don't diversify. So finally, I got him thinking about, $2 into OUSA, $1 into OGIG. But, even as I say this, OGIG, I told him that when OGIG was up 55%. Now it's up 80. So he's listening to me saying, you don't know what you're talking about either. And I said, excuse me, I'm the guy that helped design those ETFs. He doesn't care.
You know what? Look, and again, we all have different personalities as traders, and sometimes I can come off as a bit not risk averse, but certainly I like a steady dividend. Nothing wrong with that. And I think that's what I was hoping you would say, and I'm glad that you did. Everyone wants to chase high flyers. There's nothing wrong with catching the big wins, but certainly building a bit of a base is going to be important. Thank you so much. I know Nathaniel's going to be very happy that you answered that question, Kevin. Thanks again. Got to get you back over to Brendan. for the
Thank you,
wrap-up.
guys.
Yeah, we don't want to take up too much of your time, Kevin. Thanks once again. Real quick, just one more from the chat, if you will. Season 12 of Shark Tank on now. Somebody wants to know, do you have a favorite shark to do a deal with?
Oh, yeah, there's no question. I've been doing this for so long. You know, it's Mr. Wonderful. That guy's fantastic. If I'm going to do a deal, I'm doing it with him. And, you know, I want to tell you something. I know Barbara very well, and the only reason she gets there on time is I bought her a new broom.
But we'll end it at that. Kevin O'Leary, Chairman, O'Leary Financial Group, Shark Tank investor. Always a pleasure, sir. Come back and see us again.
Take care. Bye-bye.
There you go, guys. Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, back on the show once again, guys.
One thing we forgot to mention, and maybe we shall have Kevin on there, but Day Trade the World is a monster provider and trader of MindMed. So, you know, a lot of our traders obviously know the value there and have been trading MindMed throughout this whole run up. MindMed, an absolutely fantastic stock. He gave us a bunch of different names there, but let's just talk about MindMed quickly because I think there's a great opportunity here to invest. He was back here in April. It had dipped below some of those levels that he talked about, obviously coming to the NEO exchange at about 40 cents up to 140 now. It held that level, and we know that when IPOs and new listings can hold certain levels, that it's probably priced pretty well. So you're holding 40 cents down there, and not to talk up the book, but the volume's been increasing a lot lately. We talked about the other listing there, Compass. So yeah, MindMed and Day Trade the World, big, huge providers of liquidity and traders of this name, Neil. So once again, a great interview. Thank you to Brendan, and thank you to Mr. Wonderful. Please come back, as I'm sure he will,
Yes.
a friend of Trader TV Live. And you know what? That's it. Next time he's on the show, your boy will have a Rolex on, and hopefully it'll be mine. We'll make a couple more trades here, and we'll see if we can't pay for that Rolex coming on next day. Submariner, I got you, Kevin. We're going to see about that one next time. I don't know about the green or the blue. You know, you like the different
Blue.
colors? I don't know. I might.
Blue.
You like the blue? Yeah, I
It's
like
all
the blue
about-
too.
I mean, come on.
I think
It's
I'd
all
rather
about
just go black.
I
myself.
can't go smartwatch because if I even have a phone in my hand at home, my daughter is like, put that phone down. So smartwatch is absolutely no way for me. I still roll with a tag, but so that's I'm way too old school. We mentioned a couple of things. I know you guys watching are in the U.S., so we keep pulling up MindMed in Toronto, and I know you know eventually going to get that listing over in the NASDAQ. But for now, some of you are probably looking at it MMEDF in the OTC market, so I do want to make sure we show it here. Sean and I will always look at it in Toronto. The volume and liquidity is a little bit better there, so it's on almost 1 million shares there and about 500,000 in over on the OTC. I wanted you guys to know that if that's the only place you can look at it for now, check it out over in the OTC market. And shout out to our good friend Jeffrey Mendel from OTC Markets. Love to have him back on the show. We do. I got to jump to McAfee here because the market is still going. And yeah, we had a long off the bottom in McAfee. I talked about this. It's a sleepy trade. They were listed once before. The valuation came in basically what Intel paid for it the last time years ago. So I said I'd long it off the bottom. That's what we did. I said I'd cover it in front of 19. That's what I'm doing. So it's a scalp trade, and we're going to take 25, 30 pennies off this one. It's not going to be a monster return for us here in terms of growth, but you take a few more shares. Yesterday, the mistake was thinking there'd be home runs in McAfee when it was just singles and doubles. When you're a day trader, you got to be willing to make money any way that you can. Not every trade is going to be sexy, but a winner is a winner. And we'll go with hot dog action. Why? Because food is on my brain. And I'm not even making this up. My wife was literally talking about pizza ovens. And I was like, you want to put a pizza oven in our backyard? You want to do a new thing? She wants to do, but she wants to do a new thing in the backyard every single week. I'm like, make up your mind. I don't mind a pizza oven. I'm down with it.
What do you mean a new thing? It's
like we have done nothing with our backyard in terms of renovations
like
because
landscaping.
There's just no decision ever made, right? So it's like there's always something new. And then the latest thing was a pizza oven, and I feel like it's going to be something different in a couple of days.
Look, I'm just glad I'm going to put myself into the gates of hell there. Yeah, I mean, I want a pizza oven. Thank you to my wonderful wife for asking about that because hell's to the yeah. Where's the gates of hell? So I got roasted there because normally I wear my Breitling. Silly me, I didn't wear it today. And then he calls me out for wearing a smartwatch. But actually, I'm pretty sure me, you, and Brendan are all wearing some form of electronic device on our wrist here. Maybe mine. You know what I should have used?
I have an electronic device, but it's not a watch.
Right, I should, but it does tell time, no?
No, it does not. This doesn't. It's like this is like a Whoop
Right,
it's like a Fitbit, but it doesn't tell time. And
anyways,
it's
the point is, Neil, maybe me, you, and I, and Brendan, we got this for our heart rate, right? So, I mean, as this keeps going up and exploding, maybe you can watch us just in case we don't have, the right trades on and lose a little bit. Brendan.
Be a man.
Yeah, great interview there. What was your take of Kevin O'Leary there?
I mean, always fun, always a great guest, insightful, great information. But guys, we have to go get actual watches apparently because having smart watches just won't cut it when it comes to Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah. But you know what? That's Mr. Wonderful. And look, some of us can't. Apparently, those watches like the green Submariner there and the blue Submariner, I'm just hearing from a couple friends that, like he mentioned, those are super rare. Like, come on, Kevin, how are we going to get those if he says there's only 2 made in North America and he has one of them? Like, exactly. I don't know, a little bit hard to compare that, but I'm going to be looking for some Submariner watches. And again, guys, if you're just joining us for the first time, thank you so much. Yesterday, here's the big Magnum. Big one there. Magnum yesterday with the big celebration there. We hit 100,000 subscribers. And but you know what we got to do? We forgot about what the purpose of the show is here, I think, and that is to trade. So let's go back and just look at a few names here real quick. And that was super fun. We'll be coming back with Kevin O'Leary. And by the way, during the segment there were a few super chats. I will get to those, and thank you guys. Just got to find them when we get back. We were focused on that interview. Here's Tesla. I mean, I'm gonna put myself in the gates of hell one more time for this one. Look, today's a negative day for me because we did lose on this Tesla trade, and I don't have a problem talking about negative trades at all. Mattel was negative for us. Tesla was negative for us. Palantir was good, and JP Morgan, hell yeah. Well, that's $1 in the money right now. So we're hovering around flat for the day. But here's Tesla. It breaks, and you got to stay super disciplined. I don't know if everybody was listening to us or not, but that does make it move down there and cracks through 410 and then stops at 407. So yikes on that one, guys. Watch out below for Tesla right now.
Look, this is like, I'm shell-shocked. I was actually looking at this. At one moment, we were getting excited. I was up to like 110. Now the heart's coming back down and calming. And also coming back down because I like horrible segues. Beamy. This is my bad plug, and I'm going to say it every single time. It's good to be me, for short Beamy, at least this morning anyways. 255 was our last entry price. So that's what we're hanging on, 255 and 56 for these two entries here. I did mention to you guys I would, at that 225 mark, I wasn't looking to take any more off. We'd wait for a break. It does give the break. I love to travel down to 215, all the way to 203. Hopefully, we can get our target, which was yesterday's close. So the retracement was on. I said to you guys here, it wasn't the worst idea if you wanted to try this double bottom long with a stop there, because you're only risking 5 cents. To potentially make, 3 or 4 times that. I told you I was not doing that because I was holding my short position, but I don't think it was a horrible trade if you tried it and you can only go long. Either way, be me a nice little stock here for the win. And I'll get to McAfee, but that was a nice pickup off the bottom, 1850. Need to get over to Sector Watch at the big screen. Brennan is ready. Man, he works hard.
Hey guys, busy day. Let's jump back into the markets here. We'll have a look at what is going on for the overall S&P. We're positive still, 0.2% to the upside for the S&P 500. Way over in the corner over there, energy stocks leading the way so far today. You can see very, very positive so far outside of a couple that had earnings news, but higher oil prices. So some of the producers coming back to the upside, HFC, Halliburton, VLO, MRO, all 3 to 4% to the upside. So energy stocks are higher. Healthcare stocks also in positive territory. There's Gilead leading the way, 2.5% to the upside. We talked about the news with both remdesivir and Veklury is the other one to treat COVID-19 for patients in hospital. DXCM, ALGN, and UNH earnings earlier in the week, 2+% for all of those. On this side of the board, industrials having quite the day. We had this group, the capital goods group, leading the way higher initially, but we are all actually negative now because of a couple of earnings names. RHI, we have AAL to the downside. Some of the other airlines not struggling as much. There's Love 2% to the upside, while American is 4% to the downside. So a little bit of a mixed story there in the travel group today. RHI was earnings, EFX also in negative territory. Banks are strong, tech stocks not so much. This has been a trend over the past couple of weeks. Whenever the tech group is leading to the downside, typically the market is little change to even a negative. Intel, 10.6%. Micron right beside it, 3% to the downside. Look at AMD, though. Talk about relative strength, 2% higher for AMD so far. MSI here as well, 2.5% to the upside. VRSN, CTXS, and ACAM, the lead decliners for the tech sector. Overall, 0.14%, guys, for the S&P 500. Back over to you.
All right. You did mention there banks, and yeah, we'll throw the money around. Got a good idea there. Good trade off the open. I mean, no doubt about that. And we did the same thing here. We did, it was a good trade off the open. We took a little bit more shares than normal because it was about 9:35 or so that we went into that trade. This is a 1-minute chart at 9:34 exactly off that 103.50 break out right there. Half of it for 50 cents, and the other half for a clean 85. So we are now flat on that. Throw some money around on that one. So like I said, it's been back and forth for us today on a few different names. So look at this, another pickup down here of Palantir. So we go back long again, man. We're back long 957 off that nice little pickup. We're only right here 958. If it gets back to VWAP again, let's take basically it all off. I mean, if we can see this kind of a trade again, let's take that off. We didn't take it off this time. Obviously, we were talking with Mr. Wonderful, and I didn't want to take that trade off. So we'll wait for that to come through. Still trying to protect this 955 spot. So we do like this. Let's see if Palantir can't go back to the upside. With orders this time waiting at about 970, we'll take that, man. 12 cents on the 950. Got to take those profits.
Okay, I'm not one for making excuses, but I can say I got a good reason why I'm not long on Mattel until that break. I talked about taking that short trade off down at 14, which I did do, and then thinking about going long off that 1375 bottom. But, I mean, when you have an interview that exciting and you're already managing a bunch of positions and you're paying close attention to a legend speaking, then you're going to get a bit distracted. Now, hopefully somebody was looking at this and saw that consolidation of 14, took it off that, you can risk 25 cents. It just broke the top, that 1450 long. And I scalped a little bit out for that little, 5 cent, winner type idea there. And then 5, 10, 15 on the way up. Let's see if it can sustain that breakout, but it finally takes out that 1450 mark. And I'll get these guys to line up the shot because putting up this chart reminded me that here on that short, when I got wiggled out, I owe you guys 20. So whenever we get that shot ready, begrudgingly, we'll go ahead and do those. I kind of told myself this would never happen again, and then there you go. This is a short that we should have. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Jinko was a good trade, had a bit of a long bounce trade yesterday. But the story has been the stock just getting beaten up the last couple of sessions, and you can see how clean the downward trend has been. I'm going to pull up a 15 so you can just see a little bit better how good this looked. You're not going to get setups that are any better than this on a stock which is already trending so hard to the downside. You don't need to have it at the top, but when it took out, and you got to watch for this next time you see it, when it takes out this 70 level, I'm not even talking about that trade. I'm talking about when it takes out this 69 here, a bit of a range bottom in the afternoon. When that flushes, it even gives you a retracement that does not break 70, right? So you could have gotten back into that. So you could have gotten that trade on the way back up of that 69 level break where it doesn't violate that 70 even dollar range. Also right around the afternoon where it was close just below that actually. So that's the kind of shot that you're looking for when it comes to short selling. Not always catching it on the way down because it's going to be SSR in these cases, but maybe shorting those pops and just joining the party. The trend is your friend. That's a good way to take advantage of it. I don't know how I managed to miss it, but we didn't miss Mattel. So let's go backflip action. There's shorts, there's longs. There was a better long, obviously, that I didn't catch down here at 14. Hopefully you guys did. I'm long at 14.50, 50 cents later. But either way, it's starting to run to the upside. We'll take some out in front of quarters. There is one target to look for, and I'll show you guys here in the daily chart. Right up here, just above 15. This is all the way back to the beginning of the year. So I'll be all flat if we get anywhere close to it. I like to be out in front of any kind of resistance level. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. When these guys have it lined up, I'll throw it over to Sean. And then I got to give you 20 now that things have calmed down. I'm ready to do it. So.
I can't believe that we did have Mattel long the whole time, but we got out good. I don't have a problem with that. It does bounce off this bottom and now takes off. So what can you do? You'll win some, you lose some there on Mattel. So Neil's going to do push-ups. That's good. So he's going to be doing that soon. When they're ready, we'll go to that. But right now, the only thing I'm really looking at now is Palantir trying to make a move upside. We did just get out of that JP Morgan trade as well. So that's moving now back up even basically to where we got out. So we'll see if that one can do something special to that upside. But I don't know. Right now, it's just fading through. Fastly is another name, obviously, we can have a look at here as well. That stock wants to move, and we'll see where, but 75. I still like a 77 break there on Fastly. So, yeah, whenever you guys are ready to get the shot, you could do that. Neil, getting ready to put in some work here for you. There we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to count. You guys can keep watching that as you go. It looks like it's a definitely great form there. He's putting in the work. I don't even remember what this was for. I think he violated he violated one of his rules. So, and you got to stick to it. And there he goes. And that's that. So
why did I do this?
There he goes. So now, Neil, now you've learned the lesson to not violate your own rules.
I'll explain why. And I said, I had this talk yesterday, and I sort of said, if you have a set of rules that for trades, or maybe a particular thing that you fall victim to time and time again, find some kind of a mechanism. And this is kind of a weird one. It's a fun one. You can do it your own. The sticky notes are good. Push-ups or just get your exercise in. But look, this has happened to me 3 or 4 times in just the last couple of months where, I'll just basically lazily look at the chart and throw a stop at the high of day when the level I was looking at was either on the daily chart or on a higher time frame, or in this case in the aftermarket on Mattel, and it was up here. I wanted to give it to 1450, but when I was looking at the stock on a different chart, I had it zoomed in, and I lazily just sort of like throw it in there. And you got to remind yourself of these types of things. So I get short too early because I'm looking at the wrong chart, put my stop in the wrong place because I'm looking at the wrong chart, then I miss out on some profits, right? So you have to do these things, understand where you go wrong. It's a horrible mistake. It's stupid, obviously, but the long's working, so we're happy about that. 1450 long. I still have some in here, about half the position left. I'll take a few shares out in front of 75. I'll take a few shares out in front of 85 and 95. 15 to 15.15 is where I think this thing is going to top out a little bit. And another thing running is McAfee. And we talked about this one possibly being range bound. It's trying to break the range here at 19. I got almost nothing left here. It's literally down to like 15% of the position because I just took some out at 19. It was longs at 1870, 75. Down here, I doubled up at 60. All off of that 1850 bottom. We talked about this, right? All three of us, I mean, not just 3 of us, everybody that was looking at this on the floor was talking about how it was range bound. And so you come in today and you think, well, I mean, 1850 is a round number. It bounced off of a low higher than that in the open, had a big bounce. So why not play at least half of that in front of that same level? So you just come in, you have your stop below that 1850. If it breaks it, you get out, you go long in front, and then you take advantage of it. Now, you have to identify that it was range bound yesterday and probably going to go sideways all day, but that's not that hard to determine. Just takes a couple of minutes worth of work. We're all watching McAfee anyway, so you might as well do your diligence. I like this trade to the long side off that level. I'll probably take less shares if it tests it again. Every time you get that same entry point, everyone else is seeing the pattern, right? So confidence for me goes down each time it bounces off that level as opposed to the other way around. So nice little trade over there. I will go back over to one other short that I do have on an MDGS, just to recap. Whenever you've got this happening for you on a short trade, you can sort of, like Sean says, you just sort of sit back, relax, sip your cognac or whatever you want to do, because it's not really threatening me. I'm just going to sit in this short. I only have, right now, about like 20% left of this position, and there's really no reason for me to be scared, no reason to do anything but leave this target in about in front of 250 that I've had. I had a bid for like an hour or so, so I'll just let it come to me, get filled, and then it's yesterday's close, 239. That's the final target. MDGS, nice little winner for us here.
Yep, and yeah, good MDGS. People are saying SNES. I thought they were talking about Super Nintendo there. Okay, this stock going parabolic, I guess. Yeah, nice move to the upside there. We haven't traded, or I haven't. I don't think Neil has today either, but SNES, Senes Tech Inc. right now, making moves to the upside, breaking through $3 possibly here. We'll check out more on this when it comes back, find out if there's some news, look at the relative strength, busting to the high side right now. But without any further ado, man, it's Brendan time at the big screen. Wow, it's time already. Money talks.
Hey guys, yeah, let's go to Currency World and have a look at foreign exchange. The biggest mover all week long continues to be today, Bitcoin here, cryptocurrencies in general, to the downside today. But look at this move. This is a 10-minute chart. So going back about a week and a half, you can see we went from 11,300, there was a base, all the way up to 13,000 today, or just hovering just below 13,000 here, 12,900 and change for Bitcoin. The move continues. Ethereum as well, 415 Just last week, we were talking about 350 for Ethereum. So both of these have had quite the move to the upside. Pretty muted otherwise as far as movers today. The British pound a little bit lower, 130. They're still talking about some of the negotiations and deals that are going to have to be done when it comes to Brexit. So the British pound back to 130 and change here. The euro's higher. Canadian dollar basically flat on the day, back to 76 cents. The Swiss franc and Japanese yen very, very flat. Same story with Australia and New Zealand. They were higher earlier, back to the downside. A little bit of US dollar strength coming into play, guys, to wrap up the week. Back over to you.
So I just quickly checked, and we don't actually have a locates for now in SNES. So it is still going parabolic. You can see that on the chart, but let's just go to the higher time frame and watch where you might expect some sell action to start to come in here, possibly at this 340 mark. If we get above there, you go all the way back into, wow, I mean, this is going all the way back into April at 425. I don't know if it goes parabolic to 1150, but second day move there, 630. So that's 2x from here. I would expect those levels to potentially hold up. If I get locates, it's any level around those prices where we get a turn. It's all about going short in front of those guys. So I feel like I haven't traded this today, and usually you would never see Cassava Sciences up over 10% or have any kind of a move, and we're not watching it. But like you say, you got to pick your spots. You don't want to overtrade. I'm at my limit for the number of stocks I'd like to trade in a day, and that's why Sava got missed by me today. But you do have this 11 level, it made a double top, and this is the test you're usually looking for. Right here at the open, it tries to take out the pre-market high. Actually had done so minutes before, but when it retests and doesn't get there, that's an easy short on Sava. All that said, let's keep in mind this company has held up a little bit better when it bounces than most. So if it does drop any further down to this $9 range, I think there is actually an opportunity. I don't usually bottom pick these or buy most of these retracement plays, but Sava is probably going to be worth it if we get consolidation on a further drop anywhere around this $9 area that we're showing you here on the daily chart.
Yeah, Cassava Sciences, another good name there to look at, but I don't know. This market's been a little tough today. Things not going exactly as planned, but we're doing okay here to go anyways. Palantir is really the only stock that we have left on board right now. And we just got, let's check back on JPM quickly. Oh, yeah, JPM. Okay, there we go. That's working out pretty good. JPM, a nice little out there. Maybe we'll look to get a little bit longer now on this name. We'll wait to see if that is the case. Still looking at Tesla. Small loss. Not big. And the thing about it is we followed our plan perfect on this one. We defended that 410. As soon as it breaks, we get out. So super happy, again, with the structure of the trade. Obviously not happy with the end result. Would have liked for it to come back up, but it never did go back to basically this level here, which we do like is 413. Look at VWAP coming down. And again, kind of got to follow your rules there. Like Neil mentioned, we talked about Tesla, and I didn't like it today off that Chinese news. And the one thing is, if you're saying, hey, what is Sean talking about? Catch our watch list right now. We did have Tesla on the watch list. It's right here. I talked about this. China's market regulator recalled nearly 20,000 vehicles there in China, both the S and X models. So there in China, again, you don't want to mess with the government over there. And I was just thinking that probably had some negative connotations to it. You can see back to the downside now, 409. Yeah, we should have traded that short instead of trying to pick up the bottom. But 410's held a couple times now. I'm debating. I'm thinking about going long again. If we can get back down to 409 and then trying to give it to 407 again. Looks like 410 is holding here. So on any good news in the market, Tesla probably does at least retest back to VWAP here, guys.
So I'm going to go back to the 6th when Tesla flushed down here before, like 406 and then holding up at 408. Is that a reason? Could be one. I mean, it looks like it's bouncing just off of those levels here, so I kind of like it. And look, it's been an exciting day, and obviously we're gonna forget a few things. But wow, coming up a little bit later, and I like this one here. We talked about this, certainly when we did film these live. Each of us gave our favorite trading book. We're all about education here in our Market Wisdom channel. We're dropping this video today, and I sort of feel like we got a wealth of wisdom from Kevin O'Leary. There's other people you can get wisdom from, and some of the books that we talk about in this that you should check out for traders are going to be worth it. So, you know, check the video out. I think you guys will enjoy it. We do some fun topics. We do educational topics, market related. I'm going to enjoy this one for you guys here because I think some good picks were made on that video. Brendan's got some news for us. So what's up, buddy?
A little one, JetBlue here, guys. We were talking about the strength in the airlines coming back in a little bit there. American was the other one that we were noting there was a little bit off as far as the rest of the group. But 1350 here just broke in. Look at the volume that came in when that happened for JBLU, 3.5%, guys.
JetBlue. I see something here about AstraZeneca a while ago here about one of their drugs being possibly good for treatment of kidney disease. Maybe, Brendan, if you can find that one. Some stories here on AZN. So, again, this name's been beat up, man. I mean, a lot of these virus names, we can continue to talk about them, but a lot of these names have been beat up and beat down in the last little while. AstraZeneca, just one of those names again. I think it's because people realizing that, hey, you know what? I don't think they're going to make too much money off a lot of these vaccines, and they're spending a lot of money on the trials, and I know they've gotten government grants and whatnot, but look at AstraZeneca here on a chart. I'm a holder of this. I do like the stock. I don't know what's going on. I got to clear my cache here. Not sure what's going on with this chart. This is a daily chart. Doesn't look like it. We'll refresh this, but you can see what I mean. Get the point here. It's been crashing down lately from 55 down to 51. You know, that's 7-8% on such a big name. So let's see if this news won't drive it a little bit. I mean, it needs something to drive this name, and we'll look at AstraZeneca here to the eyes. I should have asked KO about some of these vaccine names. He did talk about J&J, Moderna, and Pfizer. The obvious ones. AstraZeneca, he would have mentioned as well if we probably brought it up. But I don't know. I don't have too much faith in these names. I am long AstraZeneca for the dividend. I believe it's 3 or 4%. So again, that's a good trade for me. But yeah, not going down anymore. Hopefully we're going to use this bottom here, 80, to flush us out of this one. But I think we got a good one here, especially if that news story is anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, look, man, all the more reason to get to get Kevin on again. I mean, why not get him on talk? You know, you guys loved it. You learned a lot. I learned a lot. We all learned a lot. Let's be realistic about it. Got some long here in that Mattel. And look, it withheld a first pullback to 1455. Continued upside. I talked about taking some out in front of 1475. I did that basically almost to the penny here at 74. So the 50 break is still ongoing. I mentioned I'd be out in front of that 15 mark. So I'm just going to, probably go ahead and throw an order somewhere in the 90s and then just step away from it. It either break even, or gets to that 15 and takes me out at 90 with this, only the last like 10% of the position. So it's not a heck of a lot that we have on left. Obviously, there was an opportunity to catch it at 14. Sometimes you put yourselves in the head of a short-term trader, and if someone who's scalping short only, for 20, 30 cents for a half an hour type trade, if there's an obvious exit for a trader like that, like myself, I talked about why it was a decent long. I didn't miss it myself, and there's really no reason not to have it at 14 here. And it gives you a bigger trade because you're working off that 75 bottom. You get 2x minimum. You can enter back in where I entered it at 1450. You get the next leg here, so almost 3x if you hold the entire thing. I would have been taking it out each leg, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, just because I'm a day trader at heart. But wow, look at that level 2. Seller at 1470 here. If that breaks, hold in for dear life. If I had more shares on, at this point I would be considering taking it off here because it's so close to target anyways. But I already taken the profit that I have, so I'll let this ride. If it breaks this seller, we're headed to 15. It looks like it's 11 o'clock. That means time to get to this V for a European update.
Hey guys, European shares are in positive territory on the signs of progress towards US stimulus bill and positive earnings reports. Spain is up 1.24%. Italy is up 1.09%. Germany is up 0.88%. And Britain is up 1.28%. Barclays reported a net profit of $797 million for the third quarter, which is more than double analysts' expectations. That's all with Europe, and back to Neil.
Thank you very much, Valeria. Thank you, Russell Jackson. You've been on fire, and we appreciate all of the super chats that we do get. And, to be perfectly honest, one thing we talk about here is, of course, going to be giving back and, learning and all of that. And we're going to always go through all of our trades and let you know what it is that we are thinking. I kind of feel like we're forgetting a few things sometimes. But, hey, coming up on Monday, and we do this as a way to give back to our members, We have a Q&A session. This is going to be the second time we're going to be doing it, and we do it the last Monday of every single month. It starts at 12:30. We go on. Look, we're going to go on for like an hour here, and then try to get to every single question that we can. If we got to go longer, we try to do as much as we can for you guys. But ask us anything, right? So it's one of those. It's a way for us to give back to our members because we appreciate everything that you do. We would never have gotten to 100,000 subscribers without you, and certainly. It makes it coming in every single morning worthwhile. It's that 100K. It's you guys giving the feedback. It's so much fun. But I want to get back to this Mattel position. And again, I showed you the size in the level 2. And I mentioned to you that if you're still holding the bulk of the position, given the fact that there was that level at 15 on the daily chart that we're looking at, and there could be resistance up there. Mattel's up 13%. You can see how big of a run-up it's made. You see a seller like that, not a bad idea to take some profit off there, even though it does break. Why not? It's starting to round off anyways. How much further do you expect it to go? So I'm just showing that to you guys so that you can see the thought process. If I had more on, obviously I've been scalping it out on the way up. Yeah, sure, I would have taken some out myself. I just didn't have any reason to because of where it was. Want to go back to McAfee as well. Turn around here at VWAP. Like I said, I only have about 15% of the position left, so I'm sort of willing for it to come back. I'm going to trail it to 75, and I don't want this to turn into a losing trade. And I got 60 as my last price. I won't give it all the way to 50, so I'll lock in the profit with a trailing stop here at 1875. Otherwise, let's see if it can break and hold above 19, maybe even test those high of the day. It's that 15%, usually that 10, 15, 20% that I'll hold once we've scalped out the winner, and we already had 25 to 30 cents winners on McAfee once. Let's see if we can't get a push through 19.
I don't know if we're going to throw to Brendan in a second, but Russell Jackson, thank you so much again. Brendan is the greatest. We already know that, and we'll see. Our board's been busy at the bottom, so we'll discuss getting Brendan's trades up. But you are right; he continues to crush it here. What's up, Brendan?
Yeah, and also melting today. It's so hot in here today. We have, I think, a little bit of an issue with the heat, apparently. CLF, guys, Cleveland Cliffs, another earnings name from pre-market this morning. Nice pop from $8 now up to $8.90. About to take out the high here on decent volume, 7.25% for CLF.
I mean, don't tell me we actually have a winner here, and we do. AstraZeneca, nice little trade there. We just took off a very, very small part, like 5%. I'm thinking we could break through 52. Let's wait to see there. We did talk about their drug there for the kidney disease, talking about, it's called Farixa. Farisha? I don't know. We'll see about that one, but they have all these weird names. Why can't it just be simple? But that's AstraZeneca. We just took some off at 98 right there. And yeah, I just want to say thanks again, Russell. You've been super kind today. And thank you to everybody for the super chats during the show. And yeah, we just went out and we've been hitting the waters. Mr. Wheelie Man, don't worry. Right now is in the fridge there. We had an early morning and we're hitting the water here today. And yeah, we're going to find out. I believe the air conditioning possibly is broken, but today the reason why, actually it's only 14 degrees Celsius right now. I thought maybe it was warmer today. We are trying to get to a high of 23.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, this is supposed to be like the last warm day forever because we're in Canada. I mean, you never really know how it's going to go, but I wish it was going to do that
maybe
on
Saturday.
Maybe
for 2020, Neil, forever.
Okay, yes, you're right, for 2020, but 2020 has lasted a long time. It just feels like one of those years. We got away from a couple of names here, and I apologize for the wicks on this chart. Let's just sort of zoom in. Now, Intel, it did give a bit of a bounce to the upside, and now coming back in to test some of those lows. It was 47 that I wanted to, 47 down to 45 that we wanted to see if there was a test of. It's just been sliding down here, and it is short sell restricted. And Sean pointed it out tonight when we were going over it in the morning. And normally I wouldn't forget to say it, but it's just that you don't usually see a stock like Intel, which isn't always super volatile, short sell restricted. So do be wary of that. If it does take out that bottom, you can't actually punch through unless you get a bit of an uptick there. So worth noting that. That was a good look. Want to make sure we always keep you guys abreast of knowledge like that. And Brendan always wants to make sure you got the news. What's up?
Snapchat, guys, another day, another move to the upside here for Snapchat. Looks like JP Morgan raising their price target to $42. So they got the JP Morgan price target increase here. Guess what? We're at $42. 8.25% again today for Snapchat.
Oh, what?
Yep.
8.25?
42.
I almost threw up. Okay, Snapchat up to 8, and I didn't even, again, been too distracted today. We've had a lot going on here today, but thank you for joining us once again, everybody. Wow, Snapchat, I had no idea. Shout out to Greg who mentioned Snapchat to me earlier, but I had no idea about this one. This is what, the third day off earnings, still making new highs now. I mean, obviously new highs and just ripping was there, I mean, thanks for the update there, Brendan, but wow, did not expect this. Look at Snapchat's daily chart. Okay, my daily chart's working for Snapchat. This is earnings and see ya, blowout. You're almost, I mean, maybe we could even get doubled up from here. It was only 20, so let's talk about it. It's doubled since September 3rd. September 3rd was $22, right? Snapchat now making moves to the high side there. Wowzers, thanks for that update, Brendan. That almost did make me lose. I didn't even have breakfast, but lose whatever breakfast I almost did have. Okay, Palantir, we see a 350 here, or 950. We're just going to wait. We're long, so we're going to wait to see if that breaks, then we're going to get out. But right here, we are into a decent position with decent shares right now, and the reason why is because Palantir's at this key level. If it breaks, we're out. If it gets up, let's take some profits. 58, 59 is good. We're long at 53, so right here, let's wait to see on Palantir, but here it goes, man, making that move. Let's see if it can follow the futures to the north side.
Yeah, and gonna go with lining these ones up and knocking them out, guys. And we talked about this just a couple minutes ago on Mattel, bit of a seller at that 70, in that 70 to 75 range. You had that top from earlier in the year, 15 to 15. I had that last little 15% or 10-15% of the position that I like to hold, but I'm just gonna go break even with it. And now I'm starting to think of where I can short this one again. We did have a nice rollover trade the second time through on Mattel, and if it can't get back above like that 75 area, certainly if it breaks to 15, this bet would be off. But if it can't break above 75 in this next like 30, 40 minutes before we get into lunchtime here, rolls back over, this is where I like to pick some shares short, 65 to 70, give it to that top, and then see if you can work it back down below that 1450 mark in the way to VWAP. So that's a look that I'll be waiting for on Mattel. You don't rush into this trade. I want to see it consolidate lower. It's got to make a bit of a test and then fail to get through, and then volume continue to dry up. Those are the kind of things I'm watching for here on Mattel before I jump into a short. Brendan, what's up?
Earnings next week for this one, guys, but what a tear this has been on, too. United States Steel here, X, up 7%. Look at the volume just came in there through $10 for X. It's the 29th U.S. Steel will report, guys.
Okay, yeah, okay, so U.S. Steel, AK Steel there. We'll look at that. That symbol, wasn't it symbol U? X. What? Like U.S. Steel, what am I thinking? X right there, yeah, I knew it was one, $10. Okay, nice little level here, big move up. Obviously, there's some chatter here. Look, a lot of these names, and thank you for the questions there. We asked some viewer questions. He went right into them about the election. I think steel, imports and everything, a lot of this with the trade with China, I mean, a lot of talk here coming through right now on steel. So watch out for that. He did talk about Pennsylvania and some of the issues that could come through with Biden being elected or whoever winds up being elected. So watch out for that. X, definitely if you're looking for movers, you're in the right space here. You can also trade Freeport McMoran as well, FCX. And again, this is what you have to sort of understand what's in this game. Copper, 1860, just a lot of different things happening. Check out the chart of FCX. I mean, it's just been a nice bottom here. I mean, everything bottomed in March, so whatever, but look at this move off of VWAP. Freeport, we've been watching you, and it's been ticking up higher lately. So that's another name that could be on watch come election time, guys.
Yeah, a name that was on watch this morning for me, Cassava Sciences, did miss a shot to short this. I mentioned this earlier, off of 11 even, but made a bottom. I thought it would be closer to $9 when this happened, so didn't quite call the turn here. But you are seeing a bit of retracement, still holding a bit of a trend to the downside. So maybe let's now look at this 1050 area, 1055, 1050 to 1055. Sometimes you do get these high volume names that will ramp up in the afternoon. The only reason why I don't think Sava quite fits that bill is 4 million in volume. So usually when you've made a hard bottom and it's going to do like an afternoon push to the high, you're seeing volume pick up. Until I see that happen, I see some spikes here. I'm not going to necessarily like the breakout long, but I would certainly look at the short off of that 1050 in Sava. I want to get back to Socket because it was only one trade for me. I took this 420 break to the top, got some out there when it got to 440, and then the rest of it just snapped down so hard. I was just like, well, I mean, socket, I'm just going to give it up here, basically flat for like a small hit on the rest of my shares. And then it ends up being a pretty range-bound trade, which is a bit shocking to me. That's why I didn't have a read that this was going to happen, so I don't have any executions here. But you're going to look, and it's basically right around that same breakout price and towards that top, like the 420 to 450. So I think we can alert to the next time if it does pick up its volume. It's done over 100 million shares, and we like that. This is still doing decent volume. If it just does another squeeze upside in the afternoon, watch for like a 420 break. Maybe you take that into 450. And if it takes the top off, we've seen what happens in these, whether it's 130, 230. They might not be done, especially when the volume continues. And because this has done larger volume and is sustaining it, socket could be on the radar for that type of move, and still hasn't broken below that 3 even mark, which would be interesting for me for a breakdown short. Brennan, what's up?
I mentioned this one earlier, guys. DOGZ. Speaking about breaking down, this one kind of throwing in the towel. Looks like for the day, had a big pop up there to 350. That was a great opportunity. Just breaking through 250 there, guys, on a volume spike for DOGZ.
Yeah, I was gonna say dogs in that one. So yeah, good trade there, guys. A good look, anyways, if you're on that name. Palantir, sorry, not plants. Long. So yeah, we're long this one, and we got some risk on. So hopefully this can pay off for us eventually. AstraZeneca, I mean, sleepy time. We were able to get some out here at 98. We talked about that, but that was a small spot, literally 5%. Then we take out another percent there at 95, another 5%. So, obviously I'm thinking that this name could go. But if I was long anything else down here, we'd be hell of a lot more in the money than we are right now. So this dog continues to bark, and we don't like it that much anymore. But we still are waiting. Look at Tesla, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Look at the move backside there. If I would have stuck with it, or it's right at VWAP again here. It is breaking this level. We did talk about getting long again if it doesn't come down to 409, but it didn't. So that would have been a good spot there. We have our order pending there at 409, but we didn't get picked up. So missed opportunity on that. Now breaking back through VWAP. Still happy with the Tesla trade. Just not happy that we got out, but it did violate our rules, and it does move to the north side. Palantir with my biggest share size position of the day. Obviously, it's only $10. Not my largest percentage of capital invested, but here we go. Nice move, 53. Defend that 50, out some 58s. Let's see if we can't retest VWAP here. 67s. We'd be pretty big if that happens. So fingers crossed on that one, guys.
Nice little bounce here off on McAfee. 1875 is where I moved my trail. 1875 is where it looks like it's trying to bounce. So if we can hold this, if it holds this level, it looks like we'll have a shot to get that break at 19. Otherwise, I'm just going to get out of the last of my shares in the event that 75 goes, and then see a retest at that bottom 1850 to the penny. And we talked about it being range bound. That's what we're talking about here, guys. And it's just, you get these even dollar ranges. You have no price history to go off of when it's an IPO, so you have to take what you can get. MDGS. Very much like Beamy. I've been sitting in this one all morning long, and it hasn't threatened me. Not as big, not as big a win as Beamy because it went a bigger move, but it's sort of as calm. Only difference is it's making a bit of a turn here, and I talked about the target at 240. That's all I have is a bid down here in front of the 50s to take some out and then hopefully get that 240 mark. I'm not going to let this come back above 275. It just feels like I'm not going to turn this the last of these shares, even if I'm in the money and it still wouldn't be a loser. I'm not going to let it go all the way back into 3. If it breaks 275, we'll just cover this one. It's getting so late in the day. It's Friday. You're heading towards lunchtime. You'll want to make sure you lock in some of that profit. McAfee, the long still looks good. I am looking for an opportunity here in Mattel, but it hasn't gone sideways enough for me to jump into the short just yet.
Yeah, no, okay, Palantir going, we just got, did we get out? Yeah, we got some more out there, 59. Sorry, 58s, now we're waiting for 61, which is that little top. Actually, maybe we'll wait for 61. I mean, we're at 59 now. It's so funny, the volume on this name was like crazy. The liquidity, was insane, and now it's basically like gone into sleep mode here, Palantir. So, I don't know, we'll just keep taking it on the way up. Good trade anyways, really happy with the way that turned out. And I'm working on some deals right now, Mr. O'Leary. We're going to get some watches for you the next time that you're in town there, roasting us for the smartwatch. But I thought that was really fun. Anyways, we had a great time with KO, so he's going to be coming back hopefully in the near future. I know you loved him, and so did we. So again, a friend of the family there. Good to have him on. And if you missed it, rewind. I think it was about 10:10, 10:15. check it out afterwards. But we're right now, man, it's 11:15. It's a Friday, so watch out. And it's been a crazy day because this drop here early on, really unexpected. I actually thought that the debate went quite well as opposed to the first one, that's for sure, and better than the town hall that happened last week as well. So I thought that the market would react positively to it, and it wasn't overly negative, but it just come in, a lot of selling happening, and now some leveling off. So this is pretty typical, as we know, for a Friday here. Now we'll see this range. I now look for some of these tops and bottoms to be broken heading into the end of the day, but right now kind of just cruising around, and AstraZeneca, guys, still just bouncing like, I don't know, man. The market goes up, it doesn't move. The market comes down, and it goes south side. So let's just get rid of this dog. What's up, Beep?
Avantor here, guys, little medical equipment maker just popping up. I noticed earnings pre-market here that were obviously not good. Big move down to 24. We're all the way back almost to these kind of levels from yesterday, but just saw this on a volume scanner. You can see AVTR almost back to positive.
Almost back.
And it's going to be a morning of a few missed opportunities here. I mean, man, Gilead, I took one short just sort of almost immediately here that I didn't want. It was a little bit early, and so I get out of it flat. But then I don't revisit Gilead when it goes to plan. It does give you, and usually I'm trying to get this pop up towards this little pre-market level here in front of that 64. I'm trying to get that at 9:30 to 9:35, and that's been the setup that works. This time it didn't actually happen until almost 10 o'clock. Busy looking at other things, but man, that was a good one. And should have had it, didn't have it. Again, that's going to be on me. But I want to get to this Mattel because we've talked about this all morning long, and it does run up. It's now making that test, of course, at that high. It just barely got above that 75 mark. Now holding a little bit lower. So if it starts to flush a little bit here, 65 to 70 is going to look like a pretty good entry for me. And then we'll work this one to the short side for the third time today. The first time was a bit of a mistake, and that's why I owed you guys 20. But let's see if we can't get this one now off the high of the day, Mattel. It's been a good runner, and you got to have a tight stop here because obviously positive news, great earnings report, and good story. But I like this fade trade from a risk to reward standpoint. It's only a day trade here, down hopefully into 50 and then down into VWAP if we can get some rollover here on Mattel.
Okay, yeah, Mattel's, look, we had Mattel early, like Neil mentioned there, but had to get out of it. So a little bit of a failed trade for me there on Mattel. Other than that, we did just lighten up and almost out now of all of our AstraZeneca there for flat. I mean, look, this trade was great. We should have got out at 98. Thought it was going to break back to day's high. Doesn't do that. That's what it is, man. That's Mattel, or that's AstraZeneca. We're out, like we're holding basically now 20% of that trade, so we'll wait on that one, but not a good one today. That's AstraZeneca. The only thing that's really working out pretty good for us right here so far today is this name. Socket? No. That's down to 320 now. Okay. That was good. We're back and forth on Socket. That's okay. Socket Mobile. Is Palantir right now, but look at this. It does stop at 59, like 59, 59, 59 every single time. So not sure what that problem is, but that's okay. We're long down here. So I'm actually willing. I'll take a little bit more out 58, but not much. We've taken out only 10% so far, 5 and 5. We'll go another 5 here if we can get 58s, and then we'll wait for this 59 break. I think, honestly, guys, if we break through 59, I think the next top here is 66. That's right where VWAP is. We did have a top right here, a little bottom action, 64, 65. So let's correct that. Maybe 64s we'll look to get out at. But I'm going to take some more 58s now, just in case this market does want to fall back down. But Palantir not really following the market too much today. Still only down 1%, but I like this name.
So yesterday, there was a bit of a bounce in Jinko, maybe around this time, like 11 o'clock, maybe a little bit earlier. Certainly, and off of 60 here, you're seeing it trying to hold a low, trying to break through this 65. It's already a big retracement. Anytime you talk about $4 or $5 on a $60 stock, it's a significant move back up. So that's a word of caution, of course, to look into perspective. This stock has been down $30 in the last couple of days. So that's why 4 or 5 seems so small. You can think about squeeze through 65. But the way Jinko has traded here, I'm actually thinking the other way. If it cannot during lunchtime break above 65 and test VWAP and get above this price, I think we can have another sell possibly in Jinko. And I know we were able to get a bottom pick earlier. That's not what I'm looking for at all. I'm kind of hoping we get a shot to maybe short this through like a 63 in the event that it hasn't broken through. Now, if it breaks 65, goes to VWAP, I would take that idea off. But if we go sideways for a little bit, let's take a 63 to the bottom. I mean, I like what's happened today in the show today. If you can't tell, I mean, we had a fantastic guest for you guys. We had 100,000 our crew got sauced a little bit on when we were having a bit of our celebration toast, and that's all thanks to you guys. But we got to like 1,000 likes, and it felt like it was like the fastest thing ever. Maybe it was even a record. Yet, no astronaut, Valeria. I don't know about the 2,000. So what is going on? I feel like we've had our best show of all time. Almost goes without saying. We have to hit like 2,500 today, maybe.
Hey Neil, not astronaut, not even a moonwalk, guys. We're at 1,200 of likes right now. We need just 300 likes to see me moonwalking. So please smash the like button right now and let's have a wonderful Friday.
Not even a moonwalk yet. Well, what might moonwalk right now is the market moonwalking downside right now. Wow, was there some news there maybe? White House is very hopeful for stimulus. That's old. I don't really see anything. We do have a news feeder built into our DTTW software, so we can easily find new news that's coming out. Plus, we have Brendan back there as well. So, yeah, we're going to find out. I think it's getting better in here temperature-wise, but you guys do not think so. So apparently that's not happening, but maybe it's because we've got the ice-cold water here. So we're going to down that right now and keep going on it. But we have lots of energy still. Neil and I are not going to stop. Still 30 minutes to go on the show. And yeah, Palantir, look, I'm liking the long even more now. It's absorbing this move down. So yeah, Palantir, good little trade. We're long at 53. We got a decent amount of shares, making some money back here on what's been a tough day for us, or for me today anyways. But lots happening and still making moves up and down here. Mattel was tough. I'm watching Tesla though, and you know what? Let's go back to Fastly quickly. This was okay, not a big loss there at all, but it does take the move to the high side. So 75.50. That's what I was looking at other screens there. I talked about on our last segment, educational segment, we talked about time frames for charting and looking at a 12-minute here. This is a 1 minute, but it gave me a great little look here for 75. So that's the level that we defended here. Broke, we got out. And then now 75 is looking like a nice little spot. So let's get some longer, let's actually get long now using VWAP at around 75.20 to get out. So I do like Fastly right now as a long.
Yeah, I know, just one of our members there, Roki, with us since 30,000. Do you guys remember those times? And to be honest, yes, like it was yesterday, because that's exactly what it feels like. And it's like, the speed at which we've been growing here is all due to you guys. I mean, thank you so much, because it's a humbling thing. The trading still goes on. I mean, we're here for another half an hour, or just a little more than that, guys. And there is still market action to be had. Mattel all over the watch list, of course. So make sure you guys are checking that out. We've discussed many things here, but I just had this short. I have it on here at 70s. I'm going to give it to the high of the day. If it violates that, fair enough. We'll lose 12 pennies plus slippage. So around that 15 penny mark should be the risk. We'll start taking it off once it goes about that, just slightly more than that in the money, down to 14.50, and then on the way to VWAP. So that's the structure of the trade for me. I actually have some bids out just so that I'm in multiple positions right now. I don't have to worry about throwing orders out. It'll sort of chew me up on the way down if we get that retracement. Brendan, what's up, bud?
Back to new lows here for Gilead. Just been a grind all the way to the downside all morning long, I should say. 63.5. That ended up being the spot up there. Was a little resistance in the pre-market, but back to 61.50 now for Gilead, guys.
Yeah, I'm just messaging my kid, 18 years old, just went to university, and he actually did message me. I asked him not too long ago about what he thought about Snapchat, and he said that all of his friends are using it, and this was literally like a month ago or less, I guess. Well, I guess about a month. Yeah, I was going to school. So I remember taking him there and into the car, and we talked about what we should be investing in. Like I said to O'Leary there, he's in Apple and then Air Canada down here in the Canadian side. But he had told me that, man, everybody's using Snapchat still. And I was like, Snapchat, really? I never even really, I don't even download that app. And now you could see this was like, back here. So what I'm going to tell you guys is, if you have kids, ask them what is going on right now in their world, because just look at it, man. Apple, a lot of these names, we saw Roku going crazy as well. There's a lot of names that Tesla, like my kids say, I'm only buying Tesla when they grow up. Like, okay. But anyway, the point, it's going to be a different game at that point. The point is, man, these young generations right now, the marketing and everything that you see TikTok taking off, and why that was such a crown jewel for Oracle. Again, still to be settled, but you can see the market falling back back down now. Good thing we did get out of some of that fastly, but Snapchat still holding up pretty high here. I was looking to get into some of this. 42.40, which is right where we're at right now, a possible go spot for me. I prefer a 42 downside move, so let's wait for 42. 42 breaks, we're going to go short Snapchat finally here.
Snapchat, just an unbelievable runner. And again, like, we talk about trades, and these are going to be obviously day trades, right? So when you see us going short names like Mattel, well, it could be Fastly, but also in Snapchat, it's about things getting overextended and profit being taken. Gotta go to CLPS. Mixed result for me, needless to say this morning. Had a good pre-market trade on that was looking fantastic, then made this little pop. I got stopped out here, should have revisited the trade, but it did not quite go parabolic through the break of the high. So snap back in, and that's the entry point that I'm always going to be looking for. The reason I don't like a breakout here, and we covered this in one of our videos about false breaks, breakout 580, but it goes right into a 6 even area. I want to make sure that it confirms through there before you buy. When it snaps back, that's usually a sell signal. If you see if you can catch it. I missed it all the way down here, but as it comes down, and keep in mind, this is a stock that has actually been on a bit of an uptrend, which is a little different from some of those parabolic movers. It kind of means it can be worth at times to look for some bottom picking here. That's why I would be looking at this 4 to 420 level, which we're sitting in right now. Closed at 388, so not a bad place to defend if you're looking for something which might have a secondary push in the afternoon. As always, I'll say this though, until you see some volume picking up, I tend to stay away from it, but you never know in the afternoon when one of these things will get its second wind. I did get stopped out of McAfee. Thankfully, though, it is going to be a backflip. And why? Because it was a winning trade. I just felt if it broke that 1875 on the way back, I wanted to lock in that 15 pennies profit. We did have our last entry here at 1860. If it retests the 50 level, yeah, try it again, maybe for less shares or tighter stop, either way to manage the risk. I think if it breaks, I don't want any part of it. The volume spike came when it bounced on the way down to that 1850, and there was some volume buying down there again. Unless you see some volume pick up in the afternoon, I wouldn't dig too deep on McAfee at that level. Been a range-bound trade, but a good one in the 2 days it's traded, well, day and a half that it's traded.
Okay, McAfee. Yeah, exactly. I was looking at 1820, the actual bottom of McAfee there. I don't know if that's going to come through or not, but that was a play that I was looking at. Okay, we did talk about going long Fastly. See if we can zoom in a little bit here. So we are long. Our average price is just right here, 84. Our first bid was like 81, 82, and then we got some 90s. So that's our average right now. We're still looking at 75 in the face. I do want to get longer though down here. So if we can, we'll keep bidding and keep going into this long. I do like the story. Look at the move down here in the S&P, right? Or sorry, the NASDAQ. Obviously, Fastly's a tech stock, so that's why we're looking at that. And then now you're going to see, hopefully, this move down in the futures cause this. We'll see if we can get back to 77. If we do, it'll be a nice win for us on Fastly. Now, looking to take out 76. We're already long this name, so let's give it a run to the upside right now. Come on, you can break 76, buddy. Let's get up to 77, take a piece off up there if we can, and then watch this thing fly higher. What up, Beep?
I just saw this KTOV, a name we've traded on the show before. You remember way back when over here on the daily chart, this thing popped up significantly on positive trial data. There was a reverse split as well. So just breaking through this consolidation here, up to $5 today for KTOV. Kitov Pharmaceuticals, guys.
Oh, I remember that one. I remember it well. Watch out. Socket coming through that $3 mark. Well, it hasn't gotten there yet, but when it does, I'll look to see if I can get it. Remember, it had been a good short. I did miss the opportunity. We went over Y off that 420. So in the event that this gets busted out and breaks like a back above like a 320 level, I might revisit it if it gets a second wind back at 4 to 420, but I wouldn't touch the middle end of the range. So you can look at where I was actually trading, believe it or not, at 7 o'clock this morning, down around this little break at 270. Man, I wish I'd held on to that trade, but at that time of day, there's no way I'm going to do it. I was in and out in minutes. That's where my target's going to be. If we can get that back down to that 270, 260 range, you see where it stalled out there in the aftermarket. That's where things started to ramp up this morning when we were able to execute. So got the short here 97s. See if we can work this down to 2 3/4. Just want to quickly jump back over to Mattel. It did run in the money for me here, but not deep enough. It turned right around, just in the high 50s. I'm looking to get some out in front of 1450, then work it all the way down to VWAP. If I'm going to risk 10 to 15 cents, I don't really love the idea of just taking it off here for a smaller winner than that. But, it got like 2 cents away from a reasonable first exit. And I feel like if it does break this 58, I don't need to get all the way down to 52 to start taking some off. And if it gives me a lower high one more time, let's say we get some shares off here in the low 50s, it comes right back and can't even test 75, maybe starts to roll over at 70. Yeah, I dip into to some more shares just to get back to the size that I had before, and then maybe play a trend down just to scalp it a little bit. Obviously, you're only going to do that when you have direct market access, because we get paid to trade by adding liquidity, and our fees are really cheap. Unless you can do that, just stick with what you have is usually the better way to go.
Okay, I mean, I'm just keep looking at some of these stocks here and just seeing what we can do. Fastly right now, good one. We had that idea from the beginning of the show that we like this name going long. And again, I don't have any in my own account, but I definitely want to pick some up. This is a great level, in my opinion, to start. So let's take Fastly. Here it goes, guys. A nice little 40-50 cent win right now on Fastly. We're long 75.84. Now we're in the 30s. So yes, here we go, Fastly. Here we go. Up to 76.30. We'll see if it can keep going to the high side. I said we'd take some out if we got to 77. That's the ultimate high. Some problems here at 76.70. So let's put an order out to get out some right now. 76.67. Here we go. Fastly, the big win coming for us right here. So let's keep going. We've been struggling a little bit today, but now we're going to make it back with Fastly. Not everything, but good little trade here coming in. It's only 11.32, so good trade. We'll look to take it off. Like I said, if we can get about an 80-cent win right now in just a couple minutes, we should probably take that. It's had problems here, so 76.50 sounds like a good spot for me if it can get up there. But look at the spread. It's like right now it's only 11 cents, but when it moves, it opens up. So we have to put an order up here. So we're going to put one right now, about, let's go 48s or so. We get out half of that for 65 cents. We'll get out, and then we'll reevaluate the last half that we have upside. I still think we could take out to 77, especially if the future spike just a little bit more. We could get that. Palantir, we didn't get any out on the bottom. We're not going to do that. We're waiting still for 65 or so. 60 to break is the key. It did that a little bit. We got out at 60. Let's wait for about, as I've been calling, 64, 65 on Palantir. I'd be pretty happy.
Speaking of big-time movers, JKS, Jinko, still going sideways, so I got the order in. If we do break that, this level here, 63.20, not the even, but this little bottom. If it breaks that, I'm going into the short trade. It was a bottom pick yesterday. Today, let's see if it can't continue the sell-off. And the thing about this breakdown is you can give this short, back up to 65, and you wouldn't even need it to bust 60 for you to have a nice little win in terms of a risk to reward. So, I'm gonna go the other way here, and if I break it, I would take some off in front of 60 even or that low of day, but I would like to be holding on for a bigger flush, just given how much opportunity this has been to the short side. I certainly think it's going to be worth it to hold some through the low of the day. In the event that that we get the entry, I'm not going to, unless it breaks out of this range, I'm not just going to jump into the short willy-nilly or chase it. If it breaks 65, all bets are off. It goes above that little VWAP action. Got some more shares into socket, still had that 320 stop. And of course, Mattel still going sideways a bit, but that short at 70 still in the money. Brandon, what's up, bud?
Another one that typically pops up around earnings, guys. Sam, Boston Beer here. I just noticed having quite the day, up 15% on the day after earnings. Aftermarket yesterday, better than expected here. They increased their guidance as well. A lot of people buying Boston Beer, apparently, guys.
Yeah, Sam Adams there. Good beer. A few different labels there for us. Of course, I like to support us here in Canada. So, Molson Canadian. You could trade Bud, B-U-D, in some of those names as well. But, everything right now moving around, obviously. Fastly doesn't hit our target almost. We're sitting upside right there. We talked about getting out just around 76.50. So we'll see if that can't make that dream happen. Hey, you're welcome, man. Thank you for the trade on JP Morgan there. Thank you for taking it, actually, Doug. That was a good trade for sure. And we're out of that for a nice little dollar win. That was a good one there. Thank you so much, Jerry, guys, for everybody that's given the super chats today. Mad love to everybody. Thank you so much. I know we missed a bunch during the Kevin O'Leary segment there. And thank you to everybody yesterday. We actually had a record super chat day yesterday because we did crack that 100,000. And I know a lot of that was for the love and support on the show for that number. So obviously means a lot to us. Thank you. We're not going to stop, man. The only days we're off are going to be U.S. holidays. So other than that, man, we're live here every single day. If the markets are open, we're open. So Trader TV Live, thank you for all the love and the support. We'll just keep on going with it with you guys and, keep supporting us, and we'll be here for you Palantir got that one on. We keep talking about it, not much happening. Let's go back to JP Morgan quickly here before I throw it back to Neil. We do have our last guest trader of the day coming up soon. So that's sad for us, but also we're moving on, and we may introduce that again. Look at this, 104.50 right here. That's the trade you're talking about, JP Morgan. We take that early off 103 bounce. Big time to the upside. And I also do want to tell everybody, man, I've been recommending, and you heard me tell it to KO, we've been recommending JP Morgan anytime we're under 100. It's been a good buy. We've done that a couple times. Now you're up. Welcome to 5% in a couple days right there. We did make the calls down here, 90, 91, 94. So nice to see some of these names bouncing back to the upside here, guys.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the thing. You got to have some plays in advance of some levels, and I think that's a good thing. We talk about this all the time. And thank you so much for getting us to the moonwalk at 15. You know it's 2,000 that we're excited about, so if you know you're going to get us there because it's been a fantastic morning. But to finish that thought there, Sean, you know, in trading, you want to react to price action, but you want to have a plan of action when it gets to your entry point so that you can be not emotional about it. You just know what you're going to do before you do it. And so having some of those targets where you know you might be buying something or selling it, you know, like socket here, I sort of knew $3 was the mark that I wanted for the short. Have a plan so that when it comes in, the stop, I already know what my pullback is going to be or where my stop is. So I just execute those trades, know where my take profits are going to go towards. And you sort of go back. I talked about this. I was here, you know, sort of looking at 7. So I knew a bit of this range in the pre-market and where the action was. That's why I'm placing these orders to the downside. The first one just came in here for a quick little 15-cent scalp. We'll see if we can run that all the way down to like 30, 40-cent wins on socket. Great long trade this morning, but obviously the short is starting to come in on that one. Go back to McAfee just for a second here for you guys. Not much to see here. I mean, I did get trailed at 1875. You know, sort of worth noting. If it wants to hold this level, there might be another long worth playing. Sort of off of this, like 70 to 75, it bumps up. I'd just be wary because, you know, the fact that it couldn't hold above 19 for very long there when I had the previous long might be some resistance there. It's like, you gotta watch out for that. And when you guys are talking about Sam,
Yep.
I'm more of a Samuel Jackson beer type. Why? It'll get you drunk.
Good one. Yeah, we love Samuel Jackson here. I think Samuel Jackson's been in the most, he's like the largest blockbuster guy of all time.
I know that
Unless
stat.
The Rock took that out, I don't know.
No chance. No chance.
Yeah, because he's been in everything, right? Star Wars,
Yeah.
even Jurassic Park. He's had a couple cameos in, but Samuel Jackson. Oh, yeah, and get this, for all you Valeria fans out there, Neil, we gave her Pulp Fiction this morning, so she's going to try to watch that.
Not try, do.
Yet, so she's going to be on that this weekend. We'll get a review, hopefully, of Pulp Fiction soon. Okay, Valeria? Yeah, there we go. The thumbs up or the okay there from Valeria. So Pulp Fiction coming through soon. Get your movie reviews by Valeria coming up soon. Okay, other than that, man, we got some more Fastly long on this move down in the market. If it breaks 75, look, if the market wants to go down, then we'll lose on Fastly. Never mind to Brendan. Okay, we'll wait on that then. But right now, Fastly, we just took another long, so our average price is to tell you 75, 75. So right here, flat for now. I still think Fastly retests 77, guys.
Yeah, and going to be getting over to just a second. I'll go back over to Mattel, but that BME stock, and it's going to be in the money for us, and there's really nothing too concerning about it. But this is yesterday where it closed at $2. That's my last target. If it makes a bottom here, certainly it might be worth a bit of a long trade. 2 even essentially was yesterday's close. So you see this ultimate target down here. It might not give it to me if we turn. I'll just trail this one a little bit deeper here to 215. It was sitting at 225, my trail, and we're short at 256. So it's obviously well in the money. But moving my stop to 215. It's been a good one. It's been a short all morning long, and now it's putting me to sleep, but the winner's already in. It is time, and you know, sad, of course, but happy to have our, for temporarily, last guest trader of the day. Let's go to Brendan and get the introduction.
Hey guys, yeah, Friday. That means guest trader of the day time brought to you by Lewis Daniels Watches. The last Lewis Daniels watch getting given out or received today. Ryan Ruby is joining us today for guest trader of the day. He's going to get the last Lewis Daniels watch for this edition of guest trader of the day. Good to have you with us, Ryan. How has your Friday been?
It's been great. By the way, I would like to say thank you guys for having me here. Neil, Sean, Brendan, and Valeria. You guys are great. You guys are amazing. Thank you for giving back to this community. And yeah, it's been great. Today I traded Guild. I caught probably $1.60 move. It's great.
Yeah, it's been a mover so far. Still, we were just noting some volume coming back into Gilead on that remdesivir news. I love your setup in the background there. You got the monitor there with the show front and center. So good stuff. Let's get back. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's I only trade the first hour of the market open, and it's been great. I've been profitable for the past few months now. It's been great, and then yeah, it's great.
Great stuff. Let's jump back into the markets. Here's Neil and Sean.
Welcome, Ryan. Look, obviously we're gonna have a lot of fun with this, but I got to start off right away. You traded Gilead. Look, just tell me about it. I have nothing good to say about myself in trading this one today, but we knew it was going to be in play. What was your outlook? Obviously, it was on our watch list, and we gave the reasons why. What was your outlook when you sat down thinking to make this trade, knowing you're going to be only a morning trader? What were you thinking here?
Actually, I kind of like Gilead, but I was trying to short it at the very open, the first minute candle. There was volume, like probably 3 million shares at the open, and I tried shorting it twice. It didn't really work. I tried taking it long. I got stopped out again, and I waited patiently, and I tried to take it long at 62.76. It didn't really work again, so I waited again, waited patiently, and then I shorted it at the very top, the 63.50 area. And then that's where I caught the whole move, about probably $1.50. So I was just closely watching the price action, and it's been great. It gave me more than my goal, and yeah, it's great.
This is exactly why I wanted to say this. I told you guys how one of my biggest mistakes today was not coming back to Gilead, which was one of the setups that I really liked, because I wanted it in that first couple of minutes short too. And ultimately that was the fade. This is an advantage for all of you people out there who watch us trade 5, 6, 7 symbols in the watch list, which is great. You have all these different names that you can look at and all ways to diversify the style of trade and make money. But sometimes focusing on 1 or 2 things that work well for you and looking for that setup, like right here, Ryan's showing you why sticking to his guns and then catching that bigger move is going to be worth it, because it didn't matter that you get chopped out or other opportunities out there. Knock it out of the park, hit your goal. The setup was still there at 10 o'clock. I love seeing that because there's more than one way to skin a cat. Obviously, Sean and I do some scalping and trade a lot of different styles, but that doesn't mean you can't be focused on 1, maybe even 2 stocks and be successful. And that's a great example here, Ryan. So thank you for showing us that, because I think it's great for everybody here.
Yeah, so it's been great.
Good, yeah. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for coming to the show. Did you happen to catch Kevin O'Leary today?
Yes, I was watching, and you guys were talking about watches. I was like, man, I want one of those watches.
Yeah, tell me about it. And then I got roasted there. I think we all kind of did.
Yeah, he said not to buy Apple watches. I used to have Apple watches, but I don't own it anymore.
I've got something planned for this guy next time. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, Palantir though now going to the upside right here. So yes, sir. Woohoo! We punched that one in the face a little bit, and yes, finally, everything making moves for me right now, and it's going really nicely. We do have some luck in coffee here on the downside. We'll take a look at that quickly. Big move up for luck, and shout out to Jeff Mendel on OTC Markets. Big move up. We tried the short. We tried the short again, in and out, in and out. This is a long. We should have held in and out, but now we're short on the top side there. Just covered a little bit, but it didn't go down as much as we'd hoped there. So watch out for luck in coffee if you guys are looking at trading that one. But here goes Palantir, up to 62. This is a good name for us right here. Is that something that you do also, Ryan? You go back, like we crushed Palantir yesterday. It was a fantastic trade. Do you often revisit stocks that you've traded well over the past week or even yesterday? Or are you more of a guy, and I know Neil asked a very similar question to this, do you get our watch list and you sort of pick out names? What kind of research do you do?
So for me, I use trade ideas to scan the gappers. So I mostly just trade the gappers, whatever has at least 3%, 2 to 3%, and whatever has the at least 500 million volume in the pre-market, that's what I pick. And I also focus on higher float stocks from 150 to above 150 float. 150 million float and price range of about $20 to $50, $100 ish. I don't trade below $10 because I find it tough to trade. And yeah, I mostly just trade the open. The first minute, I like trading 1 minute orbs. That's my specialty.
Oh.
I specialize in trading market like 1 minute orders because I only have about an hour or two to trade the market because I have a day job, and it's been great. Most of my trades are just 1 minute orb and 5 minute orbs. Yeah.
So you mentioned, I see a nice little setup there. Are you also a YouTuber? I see that you have a little bit of a great mic there set up.
I like sharing my trades. I make live recaps. I record my trades. It's very useful for me, and
Very
not
nice.
just for me and for others as well, because I can see what my mistakes is. So for the past 2 years, I've been recording my whole screen, and then it
And
gave
then
me a lot
reviewing
of knowledge and skill, and then I learned a lot from rewatching my screen, and I post them every day on my YouTube channel as well.
You know what? That was one thing that actually caught my eye before I actually even saw that microphone there, was what you talked about, reviewing your trades, right? Putting in that work, learning from your mistakes. There's nothing more important. That's basically the idea that we're trying to give here on the show is review, understand, and be prepared. And I'm prepared for this market to fall right now because it is falling. We do have Fastly long, but let's go to Brendan. Any news on this?
Not seeing anything new on Fastly, guys. We touched on a couple of downgrades. There's a price target decrease after the earnings. I wanted to mention this one as well. Kodiak Sciences, KOD, about a mid-cap type of range as far as the size on this one. Just broke day highs, so definitely not falling with the market here. 11%. This thing's been on a bit of a tear as well. Kodiak Sciences, guys.
That's going up, but going down, and like I always say, have profit taking in mind because don't look that gift horse in the mouth. I'll take some off of a Mattel here. I talked about it breaking back down to the mid-50s, and I would take a little bit off and then work this one down into VWAP. And you said something here, Ryan, which is it's not funny. It's just, I think it's something we can all relate to as well. There's something to be said about saying your mistakes out loud, or like having someone that you can talk to about them. It gives an extra sense of accountability. Look, we're all human beings, and admitting our own faults is probably going to be difficult. But hey, if you hold yourself accountable in a forum like that, or just find a trading buddy, find someone that you relate to that you can be honest with. I think you almost can't go wrong. I want to go just quickly back over to Socket here because I know a lot of people are watching this one, and I think I turned short finally. I mean, obviously should have been shorting it earlier, but it's starting to work its way back down, just sort of watching a bit of buying volume come in. I took a couple of legs out here down in the 280 range for like that 15 to 20 cent win area, trying to get it down to 250 here for an ultimate target, but it's starting to catch a bit of a bid. I have moved my stop just a little bit here to 315-ish, and I think Socket it's a candidate, and obviously I'm short right now, but it's a candidate to have that sort of afternoon ramp. And so I know you have a 9 to 5 here, so you're mostly Ryan trading those morning type trades. So my question to you would be, traders are always looking for new things. Have you any thoughts of expanding into different styles, or because of your constraints, would it be more expanding into swing trading because you have the 9 to 5 as opposed to some other traders which might get more active throughout the day? What are your thoughts in terms of progressing as a trader? Just sort of where are you at out of curiosity?
Yeah, so for now I have a TFSA as well. I swing trade on my TFSA, so I use that for swing trading, and I have my IB broker here to do J trading. And in the future, probably if maybe in the next 2 to 3 years, I become really successful in this, maybe I'll consider trading, I don't know, like reversals, like parabolic moves. Maybe I'll consider trading low float stocks. So for now, I only have probably a very tight an hour to trade, and I also have to do my recap every day. So I have like a very limited time. So that's why I only focused on trading 1 minute and 1 minute orbs. Yeah, and I've been very successful in it.
Gotcha. No, you said TFSA, so obviously we're north of the border, so we know all about that. But I don't think we asked where you're from. So.
Oh yeah. So I'm currently in Vancouver. So market opens here at 6:30. I know you guys are in Toronto. So I'm originally from the Philippines. I've been working overseas for the past 12 years. I've been a lot of countries working abroad, and I ended up moving here in Vancouver, and I really loved it. And yeah, now I have a full-time job, and I'm considering the trading as well. It's been great.
Look, that's amazing. I think an advantage, and we talk about this for all of our West Coast viewers, I mean, the ability to trade the open, and then that's the thing. If you're here going to a 9 to 5 job after trading the open, it just can't happen. But West Coast, that's almost a good life. You got to get up early, So I'm assuming you're an early riser. Like, what time are you getting up in the morning to make this happen? Let these guys know how hard you work here.
Oh, it's been tough at first. I've been waking up 5:50. I have a routine and I have 30 minutes to prepare for the market. I feel like I have a two life actually. I feel like I'm a different person in the morning and a different person after 8 o'clock, like in my time. And then it's I just realized it yesterday. I was like, oh, I'm living two lives right now.
Oh, I think most traders live two lives, but around here it's like pre-coffee and post-coffee. Those are the two lives that we tend to live, and we get a little more activated when we do get a little coffee. And you got to do you got to do what works for you. I think that's the important thing there. We love getting experiences of different traders, so that's why I wanted to bring that out there so that everyone can understand that people have different circumstances. You have a side job, you don't. It's a primary income. You're just starting. You've been trading a while. You have a trading buddy. You're sharing trades online, just like we are. So. Anything and everything is in our community here, and that's what I absolutely love about it. And hey, while I can, last time anyone's getting one of these for a while, Lewis Daniels watch. Check out for that one. It's got to go all the way across to the West Coast. Well, I guess they may go the other way around the world because it's London, but I got to go all the way to Vancouver for you. Brendan does have news for us here, so let's go over to the desk.
Just checking on AKBA. We are halted again. You can see this thing actually halted at 11 o'clock this morning and was halted for a better part of 45 minutes or so. Just halted again on this spike to the upside. They released some data on, it looks like, a treatment for a rare form of kidney disease that ended up being positive or better than expected. It looks like some trial data. So it was halted here for news pending. News is out, guys. Looks like a decent one for AKBA.
All right. We've averaged, AKB. Okay, I've already lost. Well, not lost. I mean, AstraZeneca we lost on, but it just didn't really do too much. Here comes Fastly, guys. It's not like I keep saying. This market's really going to tell the story here today for me, and we just tried to pick up a few names here on the cheap because I do like Fastly. But again, this market, and again, you got to watch stocks and see what they're trading against, right? You can't fight the market. If this wants to come down, Fastly is going to move with this market, and that just is what it is for me right now. Our average price is 50, 75, 50. Well worth it for me again. I still think we have 77 coming. If we do break down below here, like 74.80 or so, I'll double check what my stop loss is at, but that's going to be roughly where we're at. So hopefully Fastly can make a move to the upside here, especially if the futures go. But right now, looking pretty good. Ryan, you mentioned you traveled to a lot of countries. Which is your, and now Canada, obviously you've chosen a destination, but outside of Canada and BC, is there another favorite spot that you have, as obviously a lot of traders love to travel? Anything you can recommend?
I think Asia, man. Like, I think Asia is great. I live in Asia for probably half of my life. I also lived in Singapore for 7 years. It's a great country. And I explored London as well. I worked there for about a year, and then I ended up being in Vancouver. And I think probably Vancouver is probably the best. Yeah.
You know what I noticed? I actually went to Singapore with Day Trade the World, our sponsor here.
Great.
Yeah, and opened up a couple trading floors there, in Singapore. And the one thing I noticed about it was, first of all, amazing. They have like more trees and more like foliage than I've ever seen before. Like workers not picking garbage off the ground, they were watering all of the flowers everywhere. And so I was super impressed with that. Singapore, expensive, as you know, Ryan, but obviously a lot of expats go there. An absolutely fantastic spot. Thanks for that recommendation. I truly do have a spot in my heart for Singapore as well. And what a great spot. And a lot of, I was actually new to me though, English is taught there as a first language in the school. Many people don't know that. Throw it over to Brendan quickly. What's up?
Guys, you're seeing, Ryan, you're getting a lot of love on the chat here before we wrap things up. A lot of people asking about your YouTube channel, if you wish. No pressure, but if you wish, why don't you give everyone your YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, so if you can follow me on my YouTube channel, just search Ryan PDT, you will see it there. My subscribers been growing now. I've been getting a lot of good feedbacks because I keep sharing my live trades every day and how I get in and how I get out. So since I have a day job, I'm showing everyone that it's really possible to make money in the first 5 minutes of the market. So Yeah, so I also have Twitter. My Twitter is Ryan_PDT, same for Instagram. So Ryan_PDT for Twitter, Instagram, and Ryan PDT for YouTube. So you'll see all my trades there every day.
Thank you so much for that. And like again, it is about sharing in the community, and I can't say that enough. The opportunity that it is, and look, it's been a crazy week for us. For everyone that's been watching, I mean, we've had guests all throughout the week. We had Kevin O'Leary. We hit 100,000 subscribers, and it's been like I said maybe an hour or so ago. Only bigger and better, right? Because that's what we're trying to do around here. I mean, as a trader, you're always trying to make more money, find new strategies, grow. On a personal level, everyone's trying to do that. And I love the fact that you're bringing a lot of that attitude here as well, Ryan. So I want to thank you for that. Before we get out of here, I got a couple of positions on that are worth talking about. And again, socket, I'm going to continue. And the only reason I'm going to continue to trail this
here, guys.
Whoa, what's happening to Palantir?
It's a chicken dinner winner, Neil. Finally, we got one going on here. It hasn't been too many bangs today, but yeah, I just want to give people an update because I see that, sorry, not Palantir, Fastly. A lot of traders looking at Fastly right now. I know it's popular in the chat. It's going upside. We took some out there for flat. Now we just get out for some 74s. So right now it's a 30-cent winner on Fastly there. Sorry about that, Neil. I just want to bring it up because I was starting to get out, and I know there's been a lot of talk asking me about it. So we're now out of 30% of our Fastly, guys. Yeah, I'm taking some out, of course, on socket, but just worth knowing before we get out of here. This AKBA opened up, and it's still going parabolic here. It's only up 18%, so it's not even a gigantic, well, it is a big move. But we've seen these things run a little bit further. Brendan came with the news live that it was positive. I don't want to chase this at this point until I've done a bit of diligence in terms of the levels that I can see. And the first thing you're going to notice here is, wowzers, watch out for about this. I'm not making this up. This is 420. Of course it's 420 because it's always 420 when I go to the daily chart. What is it with traders in these levels? Watch out for potential break to the upside. This is starting to get a little bit crazy in AKBA. Thank you, Brendan, for bringing this to our attention. On a Friday, you think things are going to slow down, and then they don't. Why? Because the market loves us so much, and we love all of you guys. There is something else we got to do before we get out of here. Nah.
And look, usually these make me hungry. Sean, you and Kevin O'Leary did it already because I'm thinking about pizza from the Stone Oven now. Thank you very much. And we're not going to get pizza for lunch, but let's go to Valeria for what national day it is. This won't make you hungry.
Thank you, Neil, and hey, Ryan, thank you very much for joining us today. I wish you a great rest of the trading day and all the luck with your tradings. Trading family, thank you for spending this amazing week with us. Thank you for all the support and, of course, for 100,000 of subscribers. We promise to get only better for you. And special shout out to Russell Jackson for spoiling us with super chats today. Well, guys, go watch our next educational video. Have a wonderful weekend and happy National TV Talk Show Host Day. So it's our day.
Yeah, is that a random? I mean, I'm surprised.
Arsenio. Oh, that's my favorite.
Why are they using this dude, though? I don't know who this dude is.
Right?
This
should be Johnny Carson.
Who?
Should be Johnny Carson.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
Should be Johnny Carson in that picture.
It should be somebody other than that. Or what was the guy? Oh, it's a talk show host. I was going to say one of my favorites of all time, Bob Barker. Price is Right. I'm not loving Drew Carey as much, but thank God I work during the day, so I don't have to worry about it. We used to watch a hell of a lot of Price is Right when I was growing up and in university.
Sean, you can't say Price. Where else did we watch Price is Right when the market would slow down?
Yeah, our office.
On our trading floor. I'm not making this up. We would put on Price is Right, and remember when Shark Tank started out? We would watch Shark Tank.
We should have brought that up.
I can't believe we forgot to say we would watch Shark Tank live on our floor, only when the market was slow because obviously you don't want to overtrade. I mean, wow. Okay, so we're having a lot of fun. You guys can see that here today. Our last guest of the day for now, Ryan, I want to thank you for coming on, sharing not just your trades, but your approach, your successes, and your growth, and all of that with us. I think it's always brave when someone does it. So thank you so much for appearing on the show here today. Usually Sean does this, but you want to shout anyone out before we get out of here?
Sorry?
You want to shout anybody out before we get out of here?
Oh, yeah. Shout out to my trader mates here in Vancouver, and if you can, please subscribe to my channel. Maybe this is the chance I can share my knowledge. You will see great content in there. And thank you guys, thank you for showing us the trading world, not just for me but for everyone. Like 2 years back, we never had this, and it's been great. It's like the trading community, it's growing. It's growing. So I can see a really good future in this.
And yeah, thank you so much for including us in that. It's very nice of you. And of course, thank you everybody for getting us to 100,000 subs. Big shout out and a big thanks to the main man, Kevin O'Leary, for coming through like the third time we've had him on the show. We're gonna have him back. I know you guys loved it. Gotta remind you, and why? Because I like throwing my ugly mug up here before you guys get out of here. We went through our favorite trading books. It's just myself, Brendan, and Sean. Check it out on our Market Wisdom page. Valeria's already dropped the link. It's always, the learning is never done, so I hate to give you homework, but to check out these books when you watch the video, always well worth the read. And every trader needs to continue their growth, and reading is a part of that. It is time to do it, guys, and I hate to do it. We are not back until next week because the market is going to be closed for the weekend. That's what it does. For the entire team down the line, Valeria, my man Sean Katina, who's got the big bottle next to him. Thankfully, he didn't drink it all himself yesterday.
It's actually just heavy, like just by itself. Like
that's a serious magnum, man. Like it was a lot of fun, of course, too. But for Brendan, who did a fantastic job with the interview today, and he just gave you the runner there, AKBA. I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you next week. Thanks, Ryan.